on the east side, another southbound 465 at Washington Street. All that is now out of the interstate. And have a crash south of Greenwood, northbound 65, north of Worsville Road. That just got pushed out of the interstate. We're still stop and go back to Whiteland Road. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There's still time to get the backyard of your dreams. Book now with Indy Decorative Concrete, your backyard patio experts. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Should be a nicer afternoon with a partly to mostly sunny sky today. Our high temperatures topping out in the low 80s. Tonight, upper 50s to lower 60s. And we're in store for a nice day Tuesday. Lots of sunshine with our highs still in the low 80s. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8, Stephanie Meade for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Of course, another violent weekend in Indy. 5 homicides, 6 if you go back as far as Thursday. 11 non-fatal shootings, 1 person stabbed. And meanwhile, crickets from our local officials, from the prosecutor's office to the Indy City County Council to the mayor. Nobody really wants to talk about it. Nobody's addressing it. And by the way, speaking of silence, I wonder if we're going to hear any comments from local officials on the Indy FOP issuing a no confidence vote of Marion County Prosecutor Mears and the Marion County court system.
This is unlike anything I've seen around the country. This is the first time that I have heard anything like this, where a group of local law enforcement officials have got together and said, it's so broken here, we have no confidence in the justice system or the prosecutor. So earlier today, the Fraternal Order of Police head Rick Snyder held a press conference and announced that the vote is in between IMPD, Lawrence, Beech Grove, IUPUI, anybody affiliated with law enforcement in Marion County.
Speedway, Southport.
Right. They voted no confidence in the Marion County prosecutor with a 98.9% vote.
Boy, who are the 2%?
Right? Did Ryan Mears have a family member that was on the force? When it comes to the court system, the justice system here in Marion County, we often talk about it being a revolving door. 96.5% no confidence. So both votes, 98.9, 96.5, that's an overwhelming number.
And this is on the heels of the Elwood police officer viciously killed in the line of duty by a habitual violent offender, never should have been out of jail. And this vote really follows several other failures to act by Ryan Mears, Marion County prosecutor, and judges giving sweetheart plea deals that have directly resulted in officers and civilians that have been critically injured or killed.
Officer Tommy Mangan, who's just now able to speak a little bit. He was the officer that was shot in the throat by, surprise, surprise, a violent habitual offender. And when we say habitual, we're not talking about guys that got popped for a DUI here or had a little bit of weed over here. Yeah. We're talking about violent felonies.
The worst of the worst.
The worst of the worst, and they get back out on the streets. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's humiliating for the prosecutor and his staff. It's humiliating for the judges who cut these sweetheart plea deals. It's really humiliating for the city as a whole.
Right.
It needed to be done.
So the question now becomes, as residents of Marion County, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to just sit back and go, well, my vote's not going to matter. It's a blue city. They've got more registered Democrat voters than Republicans. Are you just going to sit back and accept defeat? Or are you going to try your damnedest to change something? Because whatever it is right now isn't working. From the mayor's office and most importantly to the prosecutor's office right now. Believe it or not, Joe Hogsett actually gave more money to the police department. At least he wants to. It has to be approved by the city county council, which, oh, by the way, is overwhelmingly Democrat. We'll see if that happens. But at least old boss Hogsett, Diamond Joe Hogsett, is willing to give the police money. Ryan Mears, on the other hand, your prosecutor, acts more like a defense attorney. He does victory laps on the things that he's not going to prosecute. What the hell is that? That's embarrassing. And he is up for election this November. Now, the flip side of that is that the candidate running against him, Cindy Carrasco, her team has to do something. I went over to my mom's house this past weekend, Nigel, and, we're talking politics, we're talking shop like a lot of families do. My mom lives in Marion County. Yeah. She has no idea who was running against Ryan Mears. Mm-hmm. This is a problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're still a few months away, for sure.
But when you're behind the eight ball that much, though, with a voter registration clearly outnumbering you, is it really too early to get out? I don't think it is. You got to get your name out there. I just don't think her staff is doing enough to get her name out there.
I love what she does on Twitter. Every week she does Ryan Mears' sweetheart plea deal of the week.
Now, that's solid. That's great. But now you're going to have to get door to door. You're going to have to go to some of these places where people don't get on Twitter as much as we do, or they don't live on social media. You're going to have to meet some people, have some uncomfortable conversations and, tough parts of this city about why you're qualified. It's tough. The odds are stacked against her, but man, this vote of no confidence from the police officers in Marion County, 98.9% against the prosecutor, 96.5% against the court system.
How about that story that broke as we were wrapping up our show Friday from Chalkboard Review about Officer Shanavaz, who a hero police officer in Elwood, tragically shot in the line of duty, traffic stop. This animal, this savage, got out of his car and just started unloading on him. And this is one of the guys that should have been in jail, never should have been out to begin with. So their family, everybody's grieving the past few weeks, and Noah's little brother goes back to school in Fishers. And what does he see when he goes into his English class? A giant defund the police poster. And this story kind of broke. It was some sort of project that a student had done last year with a big question mark on it, defund the police. It's totally unacceptable, totally embarrassing for Hamilton Southeastern School District. It is, I mean, just imagine your brother gets tragically killed in the line of duty as a police officer, and you got to go to class and look at something that says defund the police.
Right.
So this is a story that broke Friday.
As gross as that is, the response from the Hamilton Southeastern Schools to Chalkboard Review for running that story is embarrassing too. Emily Abbots is the Director of School and Community Relations for Hamilton Southeastern Schools. And the moment that Chalkboard Review ran the story, and keep in mind, Chalkboard Review reached out to the family of the fallen officer, Shanavaz, and the younger brother, reached out to the schools, did everything. Nothing was factually incorrect about the article that was in Chalkboard Review, but Emily Abbots writes this real snarky, kind of smart-ass reply. Here's a statement you can include on your story. And she put story in air quotes. Like, if you live in Hamilton County, this smart ass that's running your social media or responding to the media on behalf of your school district, is this what you signed up for? This teacher that was allowing this project to stay up in class, that has a history of being like an over-the-top anti-police, defund the police activist. Is this what you signed up for when you elected your school board members? This is embarrassing. Marina Gibson, 26-year-old ELA teacher and the sponsor for the Mental Health Club for Fishers High School, says that she displayed that defund the police poster as a piece of student work from the previous year and just forgot to take it down, Nigel.
Sure. Which is weird. I mean, so the student's not even there. The student that did that is not even there. And I'm sure there's a reason. She didn't just leave it up by accident. Teachers don't do.
She liked it. She wanted it up.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Of course, it's embarrassing for the Fishers High School. It's embarrassing for the Hamilton Southeastern School District. It's just a complete and utter failure, and it's humiliating for the administration to have to sit there and explain to Noah Shanavaz's little brother and his family why he had to sit there through class. And
Right.
there was some sort of apology, but not really. And it's really just horrible to think that he had to sit there and go and look at that for a day.
See, I don't even think there was a really involved. There was no apology. This is a statement from the Shanavaz family to Chalkboard Review. Quote, "We aren't prepared to issue a statement at this time, but we do need to correct the record due to a misleading statement made by the school board. The teacher did not apologize to our son for the poster being up. She told our son she was sorry he didn't talk to her about it."
Like it's his fault.
Right. There's no apology there. There's absolutely no apology there. And then on top of that, you got smartass Emily Abbott's, the director of school community relations, writing snarky messages back to the folks that broke the story.
Why did she put quotation marks around story? Here's our statement that you can include in your quote story.
Well, if I understand this correctly, Emily Abbott's used to be like a reporter for Channel 6 somewhere, so nobody knows how to do any journalism but her, apparently. The way that she treated the folks at Chalkboard Review and responded to them in that smart-ass little tone that she had.
Story.
I used to work at Channel 6. You don't know how to do journalism. This isn't a story. You're burying the lead here, sister. How about you actually focus on your radical lunatic teacher and having somewhat of a compassionate heart to a kid who lost his older brother? And anybody that watched that funeral, and I watched the funeral, that was a young man that had a hard time saying goodbye. Him walking off the stage, turning back, rubbing the casket, looking back a couple times. Hamilton Southeastern School should absolutely be ashamed of themselves. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Looking at downtown right now, southbound 65 crash at West Street, okay? And that's going to be on the ramp from West Street to southbound 65, so it's on the entry ramp, and that ramp is open but partially blocked. You can expect it to be slow. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get the backyard of your dreams. Book now with Indy Decorative Concrete, your backyard patio experts, IndyDecorativeConcrete.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Tony Kennett, the man behind Chalkboard Review that broke that story, will join us coming up at 4:30 today. So please do not go anywhere. We've also got FOP President Rick Snyder scheduled to join us. Guy Relford's going to be in studio today. We are loaded. We are ready to roll. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Right now, we've got sunshine and 78 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Mortgage rates are down and home equity is up. If you've been thinking about a refinance, start online at thehomeloanexpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
Old National Bank is asking everyone to get old. But first, people have questions. Will it take me years to get old? No, getting old can literally happen in minutes.
Is getting old like a complicated process?
Not at all. Just stop into one of our banking centers or visit our website. We even have an app for that.
Will I look any different after I get old?
You may look happier and more relaxed with a banking partner like us.
Definitely want to get old.
Introducing Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and autopay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
America is at a crossroads, trillions in national debt and climbing, and the government is eyeing your retirement savings as a solution. Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, and we're excited to host former U.S. Comptroller General David Walker Thursday, September 22nd at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum at 6:30 p.m. for a free, exclusive event based around America's math problem. Amidst new tax laws and big stimulus packages, the writing is on the wall. Washington is strapped, meaning your lifelong savings could be at risk of future tax and spending changes. The good news, you can start protecting your money now. Join us for David's unique insights on America's fiscal future and what it could mean for your retirement. Don't miss this free event on September 22nd. Register now by calling or texting Walker12 to 866-482-9559. Walker12 to 866-482-9559.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
ZZ Top Raw Whiskey Tour. This Friday, TCU Amphitheater at White River State Park. Playing all their classic hits. ZZ Top. Reserve seats on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Jack Daniels Concert Series.
Come on, we're going to be late to the cookout.
I was just packing up my famous mac and cheese.
I hope you packed the Pepto, too.
Huh?
Pepto-Bismol provides fast relief from heartburn and indigestion. You know, that uncomfortable feeling after you eat too much. And after the deviled eggs, baked beans, and barbecue ribs, you're going to need it.
Barbecue ribs? I should probably pack an extra shirt, too.
Good call.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $14 billion were stolen last year. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers. Securely destroy electronic data. Visit tech-recyclers.com. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Dennis Rodman to the rescue. Former NBA player, champion, multi-championship rings.
Yeah, he won a couple with the Pistons, then was on that Bulls dynasty.
So he's going to go Russia to help free Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner is the WNBA star who is currently incarcerated in Russia for some cannabis oil. She's been there since February. I think it's safe to say she's been wrongly imprisoned, is being used to humiliate Joe Biden. Right. And the United States.
You might not like Brittany Griner because she spoke out against the anthem and all this other kind of stuff, and I understand that, but you should not be locked up for 9 years for a vape cartridge at an airport.
They just had the trial, and she pled not guilty. Did she plead guilty or not guilty?
She pled guilty just to kind of make it just down to 9-10 years.
9 years. So there's been talks of like a political prisoner swap. Like Russia wants some
Merchant of Death.
Yeah, the nickname is Merchant of Death. He's a arms dealer that we have in custody here in the United States, and they want to trade him for Brittany Griner. But now Dennis Rodman is getting in the fray. He says, quote, "I got permission to go to Russia to help that girl."
NBC News points out that Dennis Rodman doesn't actually need permission to head to Russia right now, so there's no word yet whether or not this is a sanctioned effort.
Well, let's hope Putin is as big a Dennis Rodman fan as Kim Jong-un.
Well, he may be.
You know?
Dennis Rodman did an interview with an NBC affiliate and said that he's familiar with Vladimir Putin, adding that he knows the leader very well.
Okay. I'm not sure how much credence I give that statement.
But just play along with me here, though. Let's just, for argument's sake, say somehow some way, Dennis Rodman pulls the strings and he gets Brittany Griner and the other person to come back home. How embarrassed is the Biden administration? Like, you allowed Dennis Rodman to go over there and make this happen, but you couldn't make it happen. Like, is that a black eye on the Biden administration?
It already is, with her being over there and incarcerated, and Putin, using Joe Biden and using this situation to embarrass America, for sure. And the fact that Dennis Rodman's going over there now, God, I hope he's successful.
Right?
That would be so funny.
Like, years ago, you would laugh at the concept. What the hell's he doing? He's going to get himself killed. But then you saw the way that Fat Boy was just infatuated with American culture and Dennis Rodman. And
North Korea welcomed him in with open arms.
Right. Like, Rodman and Kim Jong-un, they'd go out and play grab ass together. Maybe Vlad Putin's the same way.
Didn't Rodman take a team of players over to North Korea and they played games?
I don't know what he did.
I think he did. I think he took some players over there and they played hoop together. I don't think Fat Boy ever made it out of the court.
Maybe he's going to do some shirtless horse riding with Putin over there. Now they'll get on some horses, take their shirts off, free some hostages.
I, for one, I don't like what she stood for. I don't like her, attitude towards this country, but I'm sure she's singing a different tune now. And I don't like one of our people, our American citizens, being used as political pawn and incarcerated in a crap hole Russian prison. Don't like it. So
be interesting to see if she comes back and complains about the anthem anymore, though, if she does come back. Mondo, can I get some mood music, please?
Go into the chapel and we're gonna get married.
So this story has gone viral. A bride getting plenty of attention because of her wedding invitations that direct guests to the official hotel of the wedding, Super 8, and the official registry website, Pornhub.com. So this bride, she was doing like a program on her computer where you can customize your invitations. Well, there's a thing called a placeholder where if you're not quite sure where something's going to be, you just write something and you move on to the next thing. So she wasn't sure where the reception hotel was going to be or the registry website when she worked on this. She got everything else done and forgot to go back and double check her work.
So I got my wedding invitations in the mail today. I made a very large mistake that I'm going to share with you guys so other brides don't make this mistake, because I'm sure it's super common.
Sure, super common.
So this is a really cute RSVP card, but I forgot I put this fun website in as a placeholder until we got ours. I forgot I put the Super 8 motel as a placeholder as well until we figured out what hotels we're going to block off, and our cute wedding website. Again, if you're our guest, I promise I didn't block rooms off at the Super 8 motel. And if you're my mom, I'm sorry, I will fix it. I think it's funny, personally, but I don't think anyone else is going to think it's funny. Especially my family and Nate's family and literally anyone else.
I would have bought him a gift from that website. I know you can watch videos. I'm sure they got a merch store. I mean,
yeah, but listen to this. On Pornhub, Visa and MasterCard suspended card payments for ads and stuff on Pornhub because they're going through a big legal battle right now with some shadiness of their website. So you wouldn't be able to purchase.
If there's anybody in the city I trust with legal breakdowns on Pornhub, it's you, Big Nige.
I'm looking at the story right here.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers, Indiana. This week, it is on like Donkey Kong. Meaningful college football games. Games that count come back. It's kind of a soft rollout this Saturday, but meaningful college football schedule gets underway, and nobody has you covered like Bet Rivers Indiana. If you don't have the apps, download them right now. Bet Rivers Indiana, iPhone or Android, they will match your very first deposit all the way up to $250. And if you're a returning player, you already know daily specials, profit boosts, special odds. They take care of you better than any other sports book. Bet Rivers, Indiana. Get your bets in. Football season is back, baby. Must be a resident of Indiana, 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swingco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer. Your basement is a very important part of your home. Whether it's finished or unfinished, there's nothing worse than a wet, unusable basement. Swingco's basement waterproofing will fix your wet, unusable basement permanently and forever. Protect your greatest asset, your home, by waterproofing your basement today. Call the real, local, family-owned waterproofing experts at Swingco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, 317-407-1868 or swingcollc.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Police in your neighborhood have had enough. Cloudy and 77 downtown and a clear radar. Low of 62 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. An officer who was shot in the throat was shot by a man who should not have been out of jail, says Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder. He blames prosecutor Ryan Mears. The FOP is issuing a vote of no confidence.
The prosecutor acknowledged that he did know that the suspect in that matter previously arrested in violation of his parole, and also being in violation of his parole, should not have been out.
Snyder cited the shooting of Officer Tommy Mangan in the throat in the FedEx shooting as at least partially the fault of Mears and his policies. Indiana's Governor Eric Holcomb has become the first U.S. governor to visit Taiwan since before COVID.
The Indiana-Taiwan agreement is focused on building upon those economic ties and critical industries, semiconductors, ag, bioscience, advanced manufacturing, and technology.
Holcomb in Taiwan this morning. He says the purpose of the trip is to strengthen Indiana's economic, academic, and cultural connections with Taiwan. He also travels to South Korea later this week and comes back Saturday. The judge who signed off on a search warrant for former President Donald Trump's residence will unseal parts of the affidavit in the case.
Judge Bruce Reinhart writes, the government has not shown sufficient concerns to justify sealing the entire affidavit used to secure a warrant. Still, Reinhart has set a Thursday deadline for the Justice Department to propose redactions to the document.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Dr. Anthony Fauci is stepping down as chief medical advisor to President Biden in December. He's also stepping down as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Fauci says he's ready to pursue the next chapter of his life. Gas prices are still going up in Indiana. Gas Buddy says the statewide average for regular today is $3.91 per gallon, up 5 cents from last week. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
One of the best things that's happened here in Indy over the past year is the arrival of QC Kinetics. Tony Katz here. QC Kinetics is giving relief every day to folks here with chronic joint pain using the latest advances in regenerative medicine. They harness the power of your own body's healing properties, like in your blood or plasma, concentrate them, and apply to your affected joints. The results can be mind-blowing. These regenerative treatments are designed to repair and restore your damaged joint tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no side effects, no steroids, and no downtime. The success rate is incredible, and they're growing fast. They started with one medical clinic. Now they have clinics in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and more on the way. Don't continue to live with that nagging joint pain. Discover the exciting all-natural advanced natural options that we have to access thanks to QC Kinetics. It's a free consultation. See what your options are. Call QC Kinetics now. 463-235-7160 in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. 463-235-7160. That's 463-235-7160.
With traffic at 3:34, here's Matt Bear.
North end of downtown Harrison, a crash on West Street to southbound 65 on that on-ramp is backing up the northbound lanes of West Street big time right now. Also inbound 65 is stop and go from West Street to the north split. The ramp is open, but it is partially blocked. On the south side, southbound, eastbound 465 stop and go from the White River over to Harding. Traffic sponsored by BP. When you sign up for BP Me Rewards, you can get 5 cents off every gallon of gas gas every time at BP and Amoco stations. So go on, treat yourself. Download BP Me Rewards and start saving today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Should be a nicer afternoon with a partly to mostly sunny sky today. Our high temperatures topping out in the low 80s. Tonight, upper 50s to lower 60s. And we're in store for a nice day Tuesday. Lots of sunshine with our highs still in the low 80s. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8's Stephanie Mead for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the gun guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Wilford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
On the Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
Hey, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. The gun guy, Guy Relford, joining us. Second Amendment attorney, licensed firearms instructor, and host of the Gun Guy Show. How are you, first of all?
Man, I'm great. And thanks as always to our sponsor, Fort Liberty Firearms in Avon. Great place to buy firearms, ammunition, or accessories. And now they have a safe room where you can also shop for American-made safes. So check them out at fortlibertyfirearms.com.
I have to start the segment off by apologizing to you. I handed you a beer that had been partially frozen, so when you when you opened it up, it kind of exploded all over the place.
Well, do you know why there's no apology needed, Nigel?
Right.
Because you started that sentence with, I handed you a beer.
Well, Hammer's...
There's nothing bad that can come after that part.
This beer fridge that Hammer has in his office, like you could set a 6-pack of beer in there, a warm 6-pack, and 5 minutes later it'll be ice cold.
We go big or go home in the beer fridge.
It's like a MAGA beer fridge.
Ultra MAGA fridge.
But you know why that is? Because beer never stays in it very long. So you don't have to worry about it.
So if you put it too close to that little freezer part, if you even just put it I didn't put it in the freezer part of it or anything, but if you even get too close to it, kind of still freezes over.
Let me say again, handsome, you had me at, I handed you a beer.
It looked like a locker room celebration in here. Like everybody was spraying champagne and beer on each other like you just won Game 7.
And you know, the first thought I had as this thing was exploding in my hand is, I wish Mike Pence was sitting in that chair.
He'd be giving you the stink eye right now. You know Mike doesn't drink.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
First of all, before we get started with some 2A stuff, some of the stuff that happened at the state fairgrounds, talk about the FOP and this vote of no confidence for Ryan Mears and the judicial system here in Marion County. I mean, you're a lawyer. You work with prosecutors and judges. How humiliated would you be if you're a Marion County prosecutor? You had the entire FOP, you had the entire police force turn their back on you, and what it was basically, Cameron, 98%. Vote, no confidence. I want to know the 2% that voted.
98.9% no confidence in the prosecutor.
Just so bad at your job that they have to do this unprecedented thing that they did today, this vote. I mean, what do you think he's thinking right now?
Well, I'll tell you what. I was subbing for Tony today here before you guys came on, and Rick right after his press conference, came on and it was nice enough to come talk to me as well. And I've thought about it since then. I ran out to grab some lunch before I came back to do Monday Gun Day. And I take 2 different messages away. One, as to the prosecutor's office. This is talking about the performance of one elected official who's up for re-election right now. And as Rick said on my show, he said, or on Tony's show, I should say, as I said.
All right, we got it.
But he said, he talks more about the crimes he won't prosecute than the crimes he does. And you know what? And he got some very well-deserved heat, including from me, including from you guys, when he failed to take his bat off his shoulder and take a swing on the red flag proceedings against the guy who turned out to be the FedEx shooter. So as to the prosecutor, I think I'll just leave that in the hands of the Marion County voters and say, if you're law enforcement officers right here in Marion County, 99% don't have faith in the prosecutor, then why should you as a voter have faith in that same prosecutor? So I will leave that. In terms of the Marion County judicial system,
96.5% was the vote on that.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I separate that one out a little bit because I think a lot of times we ought to be looking in the rules and the processes and the procedures that govern our courts, because a lot of times we can be critical of decisions that come out of the courts when what they're doing is mandated by statute. And a lot of times, if we're kind of on the outside looking in, because I got to tell you, I mean, I practice in Marion County. There are some really outstanding judges in Marion County. There just are that have been there for a long time. They're hardworking. They do a great job, but they're also restricted to some degree by the plea agreements that get presented to them that are entered into between defendants, their lawyers, and the prosecutor's office, right? And a lot of times we don't like these quote-unquote sweetheart deals. Well, how many times should a judge say, well, I'm turning down the deal that's been entered into between the prosecutor's office and a defendant and their counsel? And should we blame a judge for that? I'm a little concerned, as someone who practices in the Marion County courts, that individual judges are being seen as being attacked and criticized. And look, that we can look at individual judicial decisions and say we disagree with that one or we disagree with that one. But to say that the entire Marion County judicial system is flawed, I want to take a step back from that and say why. Because I'm not sure it's because we can attack or criticize the decisions that many, because we're talking about a whole bunch of judges.
Right.
That many judges that are busting their ass to do the best job they can with a lot of cases are doing every day. So I look at it a little differently as between the judicial system and the prosecutor.
But you get a radical DA that agrees to some sort of sweetheart plea deal with the defense, and they present that to the judge. The judge should look at that and go, no. I'm not agreeing to this.
Well, and they have that option, Nige.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, a judge doesn't have to accept a plea because they may think it imposes an undue burden or undue punishment on the defendant. They may say it's not harsh enough given the specifics of the crime, but they have hearings on those things. And you get to go in and argue. I just had one in the last couple of weeks in Marion County. I went in and we had a plea agreement, but the actual sentence within a range was going to be determined by the judge. And so I get to go in there and present my evidence on why it ought to be on this end of the range. And the prosecutor got to argue why it should be on the higher end. And ultimately the judge makes that decision. And they can also, in the meantime, reject the plea altogether, to your point. But keep in mind, and this is nobody's fault. Right now, there's a backlog of something like, I think I heard 37,000 cases.
It's
Indiana.
ridiculous.
In Marion County, they're waiting for trial. In Marion County, 37,000. And I don't discount the idea, the pressure that puts on judges when they see the backlog in their individual court, however that 37,000 is divided among the dozens of courts we have in Marion County, when you get it presented with a plea deal and the prosecutor's okay with it and the defendant's okay with it, and you know the backlog you have, there's a tremendous amount of pressure to say, hey, let's take that plea, let's put this one in the books, and let's get on to the next case. Because, by the way, we also criticize the court system for taking months and months or years and years and years to get cases resolved.
Right.
So they're kind of getting hit from both directions.
Well, and I think that's kind of the key thing here. I don't think 96.5% of officers are saying it's just the judge's fault.
No, I agree.
It's the whole process.
Exactly.
It's the Bail Project, Indy, and these groups that pay cash bail for these heinous offenders to get out on these sweetheart deals. It's a whole number of things.
No, that's a really good way of putting it. I'm glad you expressed it that way because I agree completely. Because what I don't want to see is that this is seen as just as an attack on the Marion County judiciary, because I don't think that's well founded, and I don't think that's the way FOP intends it. By the way, I don't want to put words in their mouth. They're saying the system, the way you just described
multifaceted system here,
which is a really smart way of doing it, Jason. I'm glad you did. And look, we can criticize individual judges' decisions, and there are times when we say, okay, this judge took a $100,000 bail and reduced it to a $500 cash bond. The Bail Project bails them out and they go out and they commit a murder. Okay. Right. You can say that judge, it should be criticized for reducing that bond, that amount. But to say we just have terrible judges in Marion County, I would absolutely disagree with that. But that's not what this says, and that's why I'm glad you made the point you did.
Monday Gun Day with Guy Relford here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Last week, I had a bunch of people send me this video that was going viral on social media of what looked to be like a gun situation at the Indiana State Fair, where somebody has a backpack.
Oh, yeah.
They open up the backpack and they start assembling what appears to be a weapon. Did you see this video?
I did not see the video, but I had someone send me a direct message to say, a good friend of mine that I go back with a long way, to say that they were standing in line over by the rides, I guess, and I haven't been to the State Fair since they started prohibiting, put that in quotes, prohibiting firearms, but I guess there's a kind of one half has rides and one half has food, more or less.
Right.
And so they were.
This was kind of near the bumper cars area.
Yeah, well, and that's what they were in line. She has a small child, and she was waiting in line for the bumper cars. And she said there was a fight that broke out among some youths and some juveniles, teenagers, and. You guys missed my cousin Vinny.
I got it.
There.
I got it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Local Utes.
I was looking for a chuckle and I didn't get it.
I couldn't tell if that was like, a classic Guy Wilford sneaking out of there, or I was just going to let it ride.
At any rate, so there was a dispute, or in the beginning of a fight, and all of a sudden, some guy starts rustling in his backpack, and my friend said she was standing like 6 feet away, and the gun came out, and she grabbed her kid and screamed and went running for the exits. And I actually reposted her is a Facebook post and said this is another example of a quote unquote gun free zone. Gun free doesn't mean gun free. There's no such thing as the gun free zone. If guns are legally prohibited there, that means only bad guys will carry guns there because law abiding citizens go, oh, it's gun free zone, I won't carry my gun. So it's a classic example of not a gun free zone, a zone where only bad guys have guns. Unfortunately, that's the Indiana State Fair due to decisions by the Indiana State Fair Board. And they ought to wake up and realize that having law abiding citizens with the ability to defend themselves and their families is not a bad idea at the Indiana State Fair.
Hearing more and more stories about good guys with guns fighting off the bad guys with guns. I mean, we've always had those types of stories, and that was always an argument from the pro 2A side. But even your euchre partner, your cornhole partner, Russ McQuaid, put out a statement over the weekend that he's seeing more and more, quote, good guys with a gun combating bad guys with a gun.
Well, the post I saw, and you and I talked about it over the weekend, Facebook post, where Russ says, hey, it was like a gas station robbery or something, and the intended victim pulled a gun and defended themselves. And then Russ commenced to brag about, oh, by the way, this is the fourth time in the last however long that I've reported a self-defense story with a gun. And it was kind of like he was trying to say, hey, look at me, I'm not anti-2A, right? Hey, look at me, I'm not, anti-gun, after he was so sarcastic and so negative on constitutional carry after he attacked me personally for supporting constitutional carry. So I don't know. I think maybe Russ got enough heat from people who said, I don't know why you're being so anti-Second Amendment all of a sudden, or anti-self-defense. The fact that he not only reported on it, but then felt the need to brag that he was reporting on self-defense stories here recently. But hey, give credit where credit is due, because so many people in the media simply deny that the idea of a good guy with a gun even exists, and will repress that coverage. The fact that Russ is covering those things, yeah, he wants the recognition. Hey, thanks, Russ, you're covering those stories. But I will say thank you, Russ, for covering those stories.
Last thing before we let you go here. North Carolina School District planning to put AR-15s in schools in the event of another school shooting. Your thoughts on this plan?
Oh, I asked you about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you did. I think you sent me a text.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say is like, they're not going to be walking around in fatigues and army helmets, patrolling third period French.
Rambo's not standing outside of study hall.
They're all going to be in a locked safe, right?
Well, yeah, that's my understanding, is that the people who have access to them are going to be trained, and that they'll be locked up, and only certain people have access to them.
And you'll be able to fight firepower with firepower if, God forbid, somebody comes in there with one of those style of guns.
Well, and you know what? I kept going back when I saw this story. When you sent it to me, Nigel, when I saw this story, I kept going back to the video of Uvalde. I sat there and I watched that whole, 62 minutes or whatever it is, of the officers standing around the hallway.
They all had them.
In Uvalde.
Yeah.
They all had them at the same time. What if just one school resource officer there on scene had access to the same firepower that the bad guy did, and just decided to engage the threat? Because, by the way, I've taken active shooter training, and that's the idea. You're the first one on the scene, engage the threat. No, do not pass go, do not collect $500, engage the threat. First thing, you step over bleeding bodies to engage the threat, because he's going to kill more people. If one person maybe had access to that rifle and then encouraged them, that enabled them to go engage that threat, I'm all for it.
The counter argument is you better make sure you lock this up good, because if somebody breaks in after hours or somebody leaves their keys out or some kid is able to jimmy the lock open, now you've got a situation.
Well, that's a fair point. At the same time, you ever been in an Israeli airport? I've been in an Israeli airport.
You ever been in a Turkish prison? You like gladiator movies, guy?
You ever see that grown man naked?
Yeah, those things don't go together. But in an Israeli airport, there are a whole bunch of police officers standing around with automatic firearms. And I got to tell you, you're walking through the airport, you don't go, oh, this is scary. You think, damn right.
Right.
Damn
I feel
right.
safe here.
Here we go. Yeah, this is a safe place to be right now.
Anybody has any questions, how can they find you?
Relfordlaw.com is the website. Best place to get a hold of me.
Guy, thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Always fun, guys.
It's Hammer and Nigel Show.
As a parent, you want the best education for your child. Choose Marian University Preparatory School for this school year. Their faith-based online private school is currently enrolling students in grades 6 through 9. Your child will benefit from their personalized college prep curriculum and supportive community. Financial aid is available through the Indiana Choice Scholarship. To learn more about the unique educational experience of Marian University Preparatory School, visit k12.com/Marian. That's k12.com/MARIAN.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box, all for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile at regular rates. Go to xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible gateway.
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 3.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 3.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 3.75% fixed, 4.88% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
There is a lot depending on your heart. That's why we've put the experts and technology in place to provide the most advanced cardiology care in your neighborhood. From preventive care to life-saving interventions, Community Hospital Anderson provides the right care for your needs. With every heart we save, we prevent another from breaking. To learn more, visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
What does Hancock Health's membership in the Mayo Clinic Care Network mean for you? It means our independent health network now has access to the knowledge and resources of the world leader in medicine. It means your Hancock Health doctor can now consult with Mayo Clinic specialists to confirm a diagnosis or treatment plan. And it means that together, we're making health possible for you. Learn more about our new clinical collaboration at hancockregional.org/Mayo Clinic.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real STIHL. Find yours at stihlusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach, and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Just 3 words. Made in America. Real STIHL. Find yours at stihlusa.com. The majority of steel products sold in America are made in America of U.S. and foreign materials. Batteries and chargers are sourced internationally.
There's still time to get the backyard of your dreams. Book now with Indie Decorative Concrete.
Your backyard patio experts. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com.
Matt, what's up?
Looking at the south side, eastbound 465, crash at White River, blocking the left lane, we're stopped to back to I-70. Traffic sponsored by BP. When you sign up for BP Me Rewards, you can get 5 cents off every gallon of gas every time at BP and Amoco stations. So go on, treat yourself. Download BP Me Rewards and start saving today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. As always, we got rolling with Guy Relford, and we went a little long.
It's all right.
So we got to take a little time out here. But when we come back, more on the FOP vote of no confidence. Again, this isn't normal. This isn't something that happens all the time. I think this is the first instance in America that this is happening. We'll talk about that. Yamiche Elsindor of NBC. She's an idiot. We'll also talk about that. And an update on Flip-Flop and Fauci.
Oh, my goodness.
That's next. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Don't miss the Colts kickoff concert at Lucas Oil Stadium on September 9th from 7 to 10 p.m. This is a one-of-a-kind celebration of football and music with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band. Experience the world's greatest guitar collection, presidential artifacts, sports memorabilia from Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and much more. And for the first time ever, Colts fans will get to see up close historic Colts memorabilia from Peyton Manning, Tony Dungy, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and more. The evening will be topped off with a free concert by the all-star Jim Irsay Band, featuring special guests Ann Wilson of Heart and the legendary Buddy Guy.
I'm right, I got the blues.
That's one night only with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band. Friday, September 9th, 7 to 10 p.m. at Lucas Oil Stadium. Get your free ticket at JimIrsayCollection.com.
FanDuel wants you to be ready for game day when college football kicking off this week. Right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week one. Just place a $5 bet and you can get $150 in free bets, win or lose. How about that Nebraska-Northwestern game this weekend? You can take them, maybe go on a flyer, take Northwestern plus 12.5 and combine that with the over for a little same game parlay action. You can jump into more action with live betting, actually betting during the middle of the game. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. The app is so easy to use. They're always hooking you up with great odds. And when you do win, you'll get paid fast. Download the FanDuel app today. Sign up with my promo code WIBC. Place a $5 bet to get $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the college football season. That's WIBC. 21 plus and present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling promo code 1-800-9 with it.
At Franciscan Health, we're inspired by what moves you and how you move through life. So if you're suffering from joint pain and want to get back to an active lifestyle, Franciscan Health Mooresville and Carmel, home to the Center for Hip and Knee Surgery, is your best move. Our world-renowned orthopedic surgeons offer the latest advancements in total joint replacement, including outpatient surgery. If you're ready to get moving with less pain, request an appointment at centerforhipandkneesurgery.org.
Have you ever thought about what you flush and how it affects your plumbing? I'm serious. My friend Larry at Whole Wall Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing told me their team of plumbers work on all kinds of stuff that gets flushed. Here's a little list. Chewing gum, don't flush it. Hair doesn't dissolve. Dental floss, not biodegradable. Q-tips, cotton balls clump together and they stop up your pumps. Tissues and paper towels, again, they don't dissolve. So what do you do if you have a stopped up toilet? Trust your flush to us. Whole Wall Heating and Air, 255-4328 or wholewallheatingandair.com.
Your home is your sanctuary, and the first step to peace of mind is controlling your power with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer, Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808.
Do you know a volunteer who deserves a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance? Tell us their story and nominate them. Click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers, business electronics recycling. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a no-confidence vote against Marion County's prosecutor. The 3 Indiana State students who were killed in a car crash have been identified. And John Herrick reports on what your governor is doing in Taiwan. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. 79 and mostly cloudy downtown. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Wall Street goes back to worrying. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Dow down 659 points at the closing bell, extending last week's losses amid renewed concern about the Fed's inflation-fighting plan. Tech shares and retailers helping to lead today's plunge. The Tesla CEO ups the ante in his fight to back out of a deal to buy Twitter, which is suing and has called a host of tech investors and entrepreneurs to testify. Now, Elon Musk's team has subpoenaed his friend and former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. That case is headed to trial in October. High water rescues around Dallas-Fort Worth after nearly 8 inches of rain overnight in some areas.
The steady rain in what has been a drought-stricken city flooded streets and left cars underwater. Fox weather meteorologists say much of the heavy rain is expected to move out of the area to the east today, but with so much development in the city, drainage is slow and allowed floodwaters to rise to dangerous levels.
Fox's Gernal Scott, it's the latest round in a summer of flooding for the southwestern U.S. An Arizona woman remains missing after being swept away in Utah's Zion National Park 3 days ago. An autopsy planned for tomorrow in California, where what's believed to be the body of a missing teen was found in her car in a reservoir. 16-year-old Kylie Rodney disappeared 2 weeks ago after a large high school graduation party at a Sierra Nevada campground. The Biden administration still trying to revive a nuclear deal with Iran.
From the start, we have said since we first started down this road in the spring of last year that if Iran is prepared to fully implement its commitments under the 2015 deal, then we are prepared to do the same.
State Department spokesman Ned Price says Iran appears to have given up on some of its non-starter demands, including that the Revolutionary Guard be dropped from the U.S. terror group list. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Losing confidence in the judicial system. 79, partly cloudy downtown. Nothing on radar. Lows into the 60s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. The shooting of an Indianapolis police officer in the throat is one of the incidents that Indy's Fraternal Order of Police has cast a no-confidence vote in prosecutor Ryan Mears. President Rick Snyder says the man who shot that officer should not have been out of jail since he'd been caught in a probation violation.
The prosecutor again had the opportunity to make it clear to the courts, bring it to their attention to make them aware, and for whatever reason, he chose not to do that. And the suspect was released a second time, and a mere 14 to 15 days later is alleged to have shot Officer Tommy Mangan in the throat.
Snyder cited several other incidents of what he calls revolving door justice. A woman was found shot at a parking lot on the east side Monday morning. IMPD says it was near the intersection of 38th Street and Sherman Drive. She died after being taken to the hospital. Police are still investigating what happened. The names of the victims of a car crash that killed 3 Indiana State students were announced by the Vigo County Sheriff's Office Monday. Christian Eubanks, Jaden Masilli, and Caleb Van Hooser died. Eubanks and Van Hooser were each freshmen on the football team. 2 other students were also injured in the crash. They were taken to a hospital. Governor Eric Holcomb is in Taiwan. John Herrick tells you why.
In Taiwan this morning, he said,
the Indiana-Taiwan agreement is focused on building upon those economic ties in critical industries, semiconductors, ag, bioscience, advanced manufacturing, and technology.
Holcomb is also visiting South Korea this week. He says the purpose of this trip is to strengthen Indiana's economic, academic, and cultural connections with both Taiwan and South Korea. He'll be back to Indiana on Saturday. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Getting out of bed and going to school can be tough for some kids.
You know, I think it takes most of us a couple of weeks to adjust, even just physically, to the physical demands of a new schedule and, you know, the social demands at schools.
Dr. Beth Trammell, professor of child psychology at IU East, tells WIBC's Terry Stacy that if it goes on several weeks into school and it seems to be a real loathing for going, that may be what psychologists call school refusal, and you may want to meet with the school counselor about it or even a therapist. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and autopay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
With traffic on the 5s at 405, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison, we are beat up on the southwest side. Crash eastbound to 465, about a mile after Man Road in the left lane is blocked. Fast lane gone. Traffic is stopped. Back to Sam Jones Expressway. A delay right now of 39 minutes at about 4 miles long. Stay out of this if you can. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic after 21st Street to the north split. Eastbound 70 to downtown, slowing down at west. Traffic sponsored by Samsung Galaxy. Visit Samsung.com now to pre-order the new Galaxy Z Flip 4 or Z Fold 4 and get a free storage upgrade in case. Valid through 8/25/2022. See terms and conditions that apply. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Dry and cooler tonight under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow will start your day with areas of patchy fog by afternoon. Sunshine with temperatures warming to the mid to upper 80s. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Indy FOP issuing a no confidence vote of Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears and the Marion County court system. You have the specific percentages right there, the votes.
98.9%. That's the no confidence vote in the prosecutor Ryan Mears. 96.5%. That's the no confidence vote in the court system as a whole in Marion County. So it wasn't like this was some sort of 60-40 or, it was a close thing. That's damn near 100%. Give or take a few people right there.
So FOP represents IMPD, Marion County Sheriff's Office, State Police, Beech Grove, Speedway, a few others.
IUPUI. Yeah, like all of the law enforcement of any kind in Marion County had a vote, and those were the overwhelming numbers of officers that said they don't have faith, whether it's because of sweetheart deals, low, cheap bail groups like the Bail Project Indy or groups of similar nature, or just the prosecutor's work.
Yeah,
dropping the ball in the FedEx red flag law.
Yeah, that alone, several other failures to act by Ryan Mears in the prosecutor's office that resulted in officers and civilians being critically injured or killed as a direct result of those lenient policies. So that's embarrassing, I think, for the prosecutor's department. And you made a good point about the judge part, though, the judicial vote.
Right. It's more than just the judges in Marion County that the police officers have a problem with. There are some good judges, but the whole system, from the bail project to a lot of these things that are coming down from the prosecutor's office, the whole system as a whole, we call it the revolving door, where people with 20 plus felonies could be out on the streets and firing at police officers.
Or if you have a leftist prosecutor come up with a plea deal for a violent offender with the defense and they're presented it to the judge needs to look at that and say, no, I'm not agreeing to this. And quite often, sometimes, that doesn't happen. That doesn't always happen. The judge is like, oh, okay. Oh, sweetheart plea deal. All right, sign right off on that.
Right.
Not saying all the judges are like that, but that was a good point that you made, that it's the whole system and not just individual judges.
And this isn't normal. There are woke, prosecutors and mayors all over this country. But for the most part, police officers will find a way to work with the elected officials. Even if you don't like their politics, you find a way to work with them. It's completely broken here in Marion County, and it's all on Ryan Mears, and it's Joe Hogsett too. Joe Hogsett, I think, is starting to realize that the police bashing, that whole defund the police messaging was going to end his political career. So now he's coming along. He has seen the light. Now he's all about funding the police. Yeah. But yet Ryan Mears, your prosecutor, he's doing victory laps on things that he won't prosecute. He acts more like a defense attorney than he does a prosecutor, and he's really bad at his job. So that's basically what this comes down to. And coming up a little bit after 5 o'clock today, Rick Snyder, president of the Fraternal Order of Police, will join us. So NBC's Yamiche Alcindor, very woke journalist, if you want to call her that. Take a listen to the way she spins these numbers, because there's a new poll out that says 74% of Americans say the United States is on the wrong track. 74%. The U.S. is on the wrong track. Listen to what Yamiche Alcindor of NBC says is the reason for that.
74% of Americans say the country is going in the wrong direction. Nearly 60% of voters say America's best years are behind it. Nearly 60%. Yamiche, why are people so unhappy these days?
Jose, it's a great question. And I've been out on the campaign trail. I'm in Alabama just today doing some stories about sort of redistricting and the political atmosphere in this state. But what you see really is on the Democratic side, people that are very, very worried about the direction of this country. They're very worried, especially about former President Trump possibly coming back into power. Or former President Trump or another Republican stealing the election in 2022 or 2024, because we've seen so many election deniers be elected.
So 74% of Americans say this country's on the wrong track because Trump might get reelected.
Is that why? Is that why? Okay, it's not the inflation.
Nope.
It's not the surge in gas prices.
No.
It's none of those things.
It's not crime. It's not the border. Nope. It's that Trump might be reelected.
That is one hell of a spin, man.
Wow. Like, I'm going to start calling her Barry Sanders, because that spin move is pretty impressive right there.
She's such a hypocrite, too, and she talks about all the election deniers. Well, I got news for you. Democrats denied the results. They called Donald Trump an illegitimate president for 4 years.
Right.
They, at every corner, said the election was rigged, Russia got him elected, blah, 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 blah. And now all of a sudden, you're not allowed to say that anymore. You're an election denier for having questions about the results of the 2020 election. But the words rigged in Donald Trump in 2016 after he was elected. Hell, Hillary Clinton, her advice to Joe Biden before the election was, if you win or if you win, don't concede. If Donald Trump wins, don't concede. That was her advice to Joe Biden before the election.
I'd like to see Yamiche Alcindor go down to Texas, a place near the border, walk into a diner and just speak to someone. Listen, I know your town's being overran with crime and fentanyl and people crossing the border. I know you're paying $5 for a gallon of gas right now and your groceries are through the roof. I get it. Donald Trump might get elected, and that's tough for a lot of people. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you serious with that excuse?
I thought you were going to say, I'd like to see Yamiche Alcindor go into a diner and order a salad.
Well, that too. And you know what? We can make these jokes because we're fat guys, right? Abdul can say things that we can't, and fat guys can make fun of other fat people. We've got some big news. Old flip-flopping Fauci, Dr. Fauci, has announced that he's leaving the government in December.
He's retiring. Well, not all the way, but the government stuff he's done with.
Right.
He's not going to be the Biden's advisor anymore.
So basically, right after the Republicans win the House, which is probably going to happen, he's going to slide out that back door and try to get away from any sort of investigations or committee hearings while he's currently the head of something.
He's been in front of those committee hearings. He looks awful. He's afraid he's going to get hauled in front of a committee and grilled about the NIH and funding gain-of-function research, the Wuhan lab. I mean, there's a reason why we called him Flip-Flop Fauci.
Right.
That's been his nickname for a year. A myriad of flip-flops over the past 4 years. I mean, as recent as this spring, if you remember this spring, Fauci's like, yeah, pandemic's over, go party. But then with the White House Correspondents' Dinner crept up on him, he's like, I'm not going to that because I think the pandemic's back on a little bit.
And he was like texting Governor Holcomb, Petri dish, am I right?
But he ended up showing up at a bunch of those parties anyway.
Right.
So I mean, that's just one of hundreds.
Was he right about anything on his initial thoughts? Because he changed his mind a million times. Like, Dr. Fauci would take every side of an argument because then he could say he was never wrong.
He deliberately underestimated and played down the amount of hernibutin needed to control the virus. He purposely pushed the narrative that the COVID virus came from a wet market in China when emails that were released via FOIA clearly indicate otherwise. He obviously lied about masks to manipulate public behavior, lied about the effectiveness of cloth masks. Just one of the most destructive, horrible bureaucrats in the history of bureaucracy.
So with the announcement today, it's customary on this program. When someone goes away, we have a very emotional, very touching Sarah McLachlan-style tribute for them. Here's Dr. Fauci's.
Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
Instead of worrying about what kind of mask, just wear a mask. If you really want to have an extra little bit of protection, maybe I should put 2 masks on.
A droplet, droplets, droplet, droplets. Wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think.
Okay. So we went from you're an idiot if you want to wear a mask to hot damn put on 2. Oh, flip-flopping Fauci.
There he is.
Hanging him up in December. All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Southside crash eastbound to 465 about a mile after Man Road. Left lane is blocked and traffic is stopped all the way back to Washington, US 40. That's a 38-minute delay. Westbound lanes also rubbernecking before Harding Street over to the White River. Inbound 65 jams at 21st East Side. Southbound lanes jam at 70. Traffic sponsored by BP. When you sign up for BP Me Rewards, you can get 5 cents off every gallon of gas every time at BP and Amoco stations. So go on, treat yourself. Download BP Me Rewards and start saving today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
80 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Mortgage interest rates continue to drop, and we are working around the clock, locking our clients in before they go back up. Our average client received over $54,000 with a simple cash-out refinance. And I can structure that loan where you can miss a few months of mortgage payments. $54,000 in cash and not having to make a mortgage payment for a couple months? Now that should put you on the path to financial freedom. Start online at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers, Indiana. This is the week. Meaningful college football games return, and nobody has you covered like Bet Rivers, Indiana. It's kind of a soft rollout this upcoming Saturday, but then everybody else gets going a week from this Saturday. But we got bets to make, and you can make future bets right now at Bet Rivers. Here's a daily odds boost. You can only do this today. Any 3 of these teams to win their conference this season: Clemson, USC, Texas, Georgia, Ohio State. If 3 of those teams win their conference, you can get that at plus 160 right now. It's the daily special. Man, I love meaningful football games. So happy that it's back. Make sure you have your Bet-Rivers account ready to go. Bet-Rivers Indiana. Must be a resident of Indiana, 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Tony Katz for Premier Arms in Brownsburg, Central Indiana's premier arms dealer. And yeah, they're doing construction there on Green Street. And yeah, that construction has been a pain in the you-know-what, but it's going to be worth it because they have the selection of new and used firearms that you want to see. And PA Jewelers, the jewelry store inside Premier Arms, means that there is something there for everyone. It is worth the drive and a little bit of traffic to get to Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, 317-858-3030 or online at premierarms.com.
At the Good Feet store, all it takes is a free fitting and test walk to see how our personally fit arch supports can help relieve foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Just listen to these real customers who found real relief at the Good Feet store. Customers like Rodney.
Some of my favorite things to do is just go on a long walk. But the more I walked, the more my feet hurt. And when I tried the arch supports on, I'm like, wow, I'm steadier. Made me forget about the pain.
And here's Anna, another Good Feet customer.
A ballet dancer's body goes through so much pain, and the pain was really bad in my knees, my ankles, even in my hips sometimes. And so my mom took me into Good Feet, and then that's when we got my arch supports. A week after I got them, all of a sudden the pain just went away.
Relief from foot, hip, knee, and back pain could be steps away. See for yourself with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store today. Your good life starts with Good Feet.
Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options at the Good Feet stores in Indy.
Come on, we're gonna be late to the cookout.
I was just packing up my famous mac and cheese.
I hope you packed the Pepto, too.
Huh?
Pepto-Bismol provides fast relief from heartburn and indigestion. You know, that uncomfortable feeling after you eat too much. And after the deviled eggs, baked beans, and barbecue ribs, you're gonna need it.
Barbecue ribs? I should probably pack an extra shirt, too.
Good call.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children. Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $14 billion were stolen last year. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
On 93 WIBC. Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I will run a couple different stories by you. You break down all the information and then tell everyone if the story is anything or not. Is this anything? A couple out of Georgia was arrested after police officers found meth in the vehicle with their 2-year-old child in the back seat. The baby was unharmed and sent away with a family member. Here is the investigator talking about where they found the drugs in the couple's car.
Not only was there a 2-year-old child in the car, the drugs were found in very close proximity to a Happy Meal box, which makes the whole thing worse.
Yeah, because the kid could be grabbing for some fries and accidentally get a handful of meth.
Ridiculous.
Parents probably should be kept from their kid for a number of months until they can demonstrate that they are capable.
Are you parent shaming, Nigel?
Yes,
Are you parent shaming?
Yeah. I mean, there's a story of Hope Solo, that the soccer star that got pulled over, passed out behind the wheel with her 2-year-old twins in the back seat. I mean, it's just, meth is probably a bit different, but definitely these parents should not have access to any. I swear to God, you need a license for a gun. You need a fishing license. You don't need a license to have kids. They need to make it. I think you need to fill out like some sort of form, maybe a background check before you have kids.
Yeah, it feels like it should be harder.
These parents just, are you kidding me? Meth right next to the Happy Meal box?
And I'm not talking about the adoption process. I'm talking about biological. You should have to be able to pass some sort of background check before you decide to raise another idiot in this world.
Hey, I'm all for free vasectomies and free, getting your tubes tied in this country. You want my taxes to go somewhere? The less people have it, the less let me amend that. The less idiots we have having kids, the better.
The next night with WIBC, we should have a bit where Nigel gives somebody a vasectomy live on the stage.
That would be awkward. Plus, I think I need some sort of training. I think there's a 2-week course you take to learn how to give vasectomy.
Just watch a YouTube video, and I'm sure you're fine. Is this anything? A woman from England was saved by her cat when he pounded on her chest with his paws.
He was giving her chest compressions?
She was having a heart attack, so the little cat jumps up on the chest and starts pounding with its little paws.
No.
Take a listen.
He jumped on top of me, wouldn't leave me, and he woke me up. I just woke up in a sweat, and my arms were really heavy, and it was really painful, and my back was hurting. Well, I think he saved my life just because when I got to hospital, they told me I was having a heart attack.
Okay.
If I hadn't woken up, I don't think I'd have woken up for another few hours.
On the chest.
The cat woke her up. Okay. I thought you made it sound like the cat was going 1, 2, 3, the chest compression.
No, he was pushing on her chest to wake her up.
No, okay. Yeah, I thought she was.
Although I would love the cat to do that.
I thought he was trying to resuscitate her heartbeat like you would do in emergency situation.
Clear! Little cat panels.
Cat's giving her mouth to mouth. Okay, now the picture's more clear. Now I understand what we're talking about here. I thought when I heard that, I thought the cat was actually giving her compressions to pump her heart, but it was just to wake her up.
That sounds like a bad streaming show. Cat Doctor. Toonses, the Cat Doctor.
Toonses, the Cat Doctor.
Is this anything? All right, Mondo, I'm going to defer to you on this one. When was the last time you sent a lovely young lady a photo of your genitals?
Oh, boy.
It's been a while. It's been a long time.
But that used to be a normal thing for you.
There have been a select few women who have received those, but...
Were they unsolicited?
No. They were always asked for.
By request.
By request.
Right.
Did you ever send one to a blind woman?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
Because there's a story out about guys that send pictures of their junk to blind women on social media.
I believe it's called mopery.
I believe that's exposing yourself to a blind man. Here, a blind woman explains how they are sometimes described when they receive a crank pic in their social media inbox.
I'm blind and I get sent a lot of lower regional area pictures from guys. Maybe they don't believe I'm blind, but I rely on a screen reader to narrate my phone to me, and it also narrates images. And I have just received an image and I have to share this with you. This is what my screen reader has described to me.
One face, probably a mushroom growing in the ground.
Oh, hold on. We got to hear the end of that.
So wait a minute. So she's blind, and there's some sort of app on her phone that can describe audibly what the picture looks like.
Right.
It probably doesn't always get it right.
Correct.
So this app, this narrator describing this crank pic, and something about a mushroom. Play that again.
This is what my screen reader has described to me.
One face, probably a mushroom growing in the ground.
A mushroom growing in the ground.
That's hilarious. I want one of these.
A mushroom growing in the ground?
I want a screen narrator. And then you guys can send me all sorts of pics, and I'll have the screen and I'll have the narrator.
Mondo, would you come out of retirement of sending crank pics if Nigel got that software to send him one?
I would consider it.
How would you, Big Nige, respond if you open up your phone and there's full Mega Mondo?
Oh, gosh. Don't even get me started. God, that would be awful.
I didn't know this was a thing. Blind women receiving crank pics.
What's the purpose?
I think you heard her say there are a lot of guys that feel like, I don't think you're really blind. Here's a picture of my crank. It's bizarre. It's gross. I don't know. But again, the unsolicited crank pic, it doesn't matter if the receiving end is blind or not. If she didn't ask for it, don't send it.
It's a mushroom in a bird's nest. A face and a mushroom and a little egg in a bird's nest.
This concludes our TED Talk. Mike Pence used to sit in this chair.
One face, probably a mushroom growing in the ground.
I don't always black out when I'm drunk.
My kids can't tell that I'm high, so it's okay.
I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink in the morning.
I still have a job, so my drug use isn't a problem.
I can stop using whenever I want.
Don't ignore the signs of addiction. You don't have to wait until it's too late to get help. At Landmark Recovery, we're here to provide affordable and effective addiction treatment. Call 866-LANDMARK or visit landmarkrecovery.com to get help today.
Yeah, if you are trying to beat inflation, man, Golden Oak Lending is here to help. You could tap into your growing home equity and put that cash to work for you. If you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck, I know a lot of people are, now is the time to get relief. Don't get stuck paying the minimum on credit card bills. Instead, access the equity available in your home. You can pay off your credit card debt with a 3.75% fixed rate cash out refi right now from Golden Oak Lending.
Find out how much you could save with Zipline. Zipline is Golden Oak Lending's fast and easy online mortgage tool. The average cash out customer saves $904 a month. $904, and that is just the average. Find out how much you could save by going to goldenoaklending.com. You can also give them a call at 317-706-GOLD. NMLS 114937, 3.75% fixed, 4.88% APR, FHA, 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Asking for change. 80 with a few clouds on Monument Circle. Nothing on your radar. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. Too many criminals get out on bail too easy and stay out, says Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder, announcing a no-confidence vote on prosecutor Ryan Mears.
Also outlining our questions to the prosecutor, all of which have gone unanswered. Not even a turn down, just unanswered.
Snyder says he's frustrated that Mears will not account for several crooks having been turned loose and then having killed or hurt other people, including cops. A Beech Grove basketball coach, Mike Renfro, has resigned as a coach and teacher. He was arrested after cops found cocaine in his car earlier this month. Renfro, who led the Hornets to their first state championship last year, had already been suspended after his arrest. 3 Arkansas law enforcement officers have been suspended after beating a suspect who was already on the ground during an arrest at a convenience store. Crawford County Sheriff Jim DeMonte says state police are investigating the incident as a criminal act.
The conduct that appears on the video that is circulating is not indicative of the Crawford County Sheriff's Department or any law enforcement agency in this area.
Police claim 27-year-old suspect Randall Worcester was being violent before 2 Crawford County Sheriff's deputies and a Mulberry police officer pinned him to the ground and started hitting him. Dr. Anthony Fauci is stepping down from his government roles at the end of the year.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says he will step down as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases in December. Fauci will also depart as President Biden's chief medical advisor.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Fauci says he's going to pursue the next chapter in his life. And the Dallas Cowboys are the most valuable team in the NFL. The franchise is worth $8 billion, according to Forbes. The New England Patriots, LA Rams, New York Giants, and Chicago Bears round out the top 5. The Colts finished 22nd on the list, worth $3.8 billion. Your stock report, the Dow dropping 643 points today, closing at 33,063. The NASDAQ also falling 323 points to 12,381. And the S&P 500 down at 90 points to 4,137. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
I had low back pain that was due to herniated discs.
Meet Dr. Justin Garzone, another satisfied patient who found regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
Over a very short period of time, the pain went away completely, and I've had absolutely no symptoms or pain since my treatment.
Before Dr. Garzone found QC Kinetics, he was looking at all the old school pain treatments.
It was recommended that I have steroid injections done, but then unfortunately my insurance company said that I would have to do 3 months of physical therapy first, and I needed to get better quickly.
With QC Kinetics, the doctor got lasting relief with no downtime.
I didn't have to take any medications during my treatment. I avoided surgery, and I am now pain-free.
Don't live with chronic pain and don't go under the knife. Call QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 463-235-7160. That's 463-235-7160. In Eagle Creek and Greenwood, 463-235-7160.
Traffic at 4:35. Here's Matt Baer.
Southside, eastbound 460 is bad. Eastbound 465 crash at the White River, blocking the left lane. The delay is bad here. 47 minutes back to Washington Street, US 40. That's our delay time right now, so avoid this if you can. And we're rubbernecking in the westbound lanes from Harding Street to the White River. On the northwest side, northbound 465 has jammed up from 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There's still time to get the backyard of your dreams. Book now with Indy Decorative Concrete, your backyard patio experts. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
We're cool and comfortable tonight. Areas of patchy fog possible, but moving forward, we're tracking a warming trend that will take our temperatures to the mid to upper 80s by the end of the work week. Tomorrow, we'll decrease cloud cover, make way for some afternoon sunshine, a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures warming to the mid 80s. That's near normal for this time of year. On Wednesday, we'll increase the heat and humidity, seeing more humidity build through the end of the work week. Temperatures warming to the mid to upper 80s by Thursday and Friday afternoon. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
81 with a few clouds downtown. I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Never lay it down, baby. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Tony Kinnett from Chalkboard Review. Tony, how are you?
Doing well. How are you guys?
So your website kind of broke the story as we were getting off the air Friday. This is outrageous. The younger brother of the heroic Elwood police officer that was shot and killed in the line of duty a few weeks ago spent his first days back in school with a defund the police poster hanging up in his English language arts class. Those are the nuts and the bolts. Where do we go from here?
Well, I think the first thing that needs to happen is people actually need to read the statements from both the school board and from the family to actually see what happened and what didn't. Seeing a lot of people pulling things that didn't happen from the story, but the long and short of it is that the poster was up for the entire class after the younger brother had notified his parents about the situation. The teacher brought him out into the hallway and basically said, "Hey, I'm sorry you didn't come talk to me about this." And then the teacher told the parents that, she would take the poster down, yet it stayed up for the entire class. And the younger brother just, sat in there during that time. And the teacher has kind of a weird history of progressive activism, notably that during the cops arresting or at least detaining a student who had been suspected of dealing drugs, who'd been high on drugs, that this teacher was screaming things like George Floyd and police brutality while the cops were leading the suspect away.
This is a teacher, with kids around yelling these types of things, right?
That's what I was told about the situation. The body camera footage has not yet been released, so I don't want to say anything definite because I haven't seen that footage. I'm only hearing things from Fisher's police officers as well as the family and a couple of students familiar with the situation.
So, Tony, one of the things that I've seen argued on social media ever since your site Chalkboard Review broke this story is it really wasn't a poster as so much, it was a project. It was defund the police with a question mark afterwards, and it was weighing out the pros and the cons. Does that make any difference at all here?
Not to me.
So this is an interesting case here, because if this were a project a student did last week or a month ago, then this would be a little bit more relevant. This is a student's poster from a previous year. It does say defund the police with a question mark on it, but then the only decoration other than like a really weird silhouette of a Supreme Court building are a bunch of the progressive hands holding posters that Black Lives Matter fist at the bottom of the poster holding up signs. And while, yes, the poster does go over some pros and cons, it's clear with the teacher's past that she favors the defund the police movement. She has the Progress flag hanging up in her room, and she's been very outspoken in recent years against the police departments of Indianapolis and abroad. And from what I've gathered, teachers do choose to hang certain things up in the room. I hung certain student work up, at least during that year. I didn't hang up student work from previous years. I find that a little odd. But let's say she does. Considering she's the mental health coach at the school, she coaches the mental health club, she should be very aware that maybe a poster with big, bold letters, defund the police, hanging up in class, whether it has a question mark or not, isn't appropriate the day after the younger brother was coming back to school for the first time after grieving for the loss of his brother.
Unbelievable.
Tony Kennett, Chalkboard Review. So weren't we just talking last week about Hamilton Southeastern schools implementing a policy on microaggressions? Like, I would think, Tony, if my older brother was a police officer and he got shot in the line of duty a couple of weeks ago, and then I had to sit in a classroom and look at a giant poster with the words defund the police on it, that's more than a microaggression to me. What do you think?
That's what's interesting here, is that it seems like Hamilton Southeastern has really put themselves between a rock and a hard place, because by passing this microaggressions policy, in which the school, according to the policy, it says whether intentional or unintentional, and it causes hurt feelings, that is a microaggression. Now, of course, the policy covers itself by saying, well, it's only for people of historically biased against communities, but you could make an argument that we haven't really cared about mental health in this country. So therefore, people who are struggling with certain mental weights are indeed an oppressed class. You should make the argument that, hey, if we're going to hold some students to a microaggression standard, maybe we should also be holding our teachers to microaggression standards. Maybe this policy of microaggressions has some consequences to it. And that's really what I see Hamilton experiencing here.
Why did she remove the poster? I mean,
that's the question I have.
You know, why stand by the poster then, lady? Who's this? What's this teacher's name?
Gibson.
Marina Gibson. Okay. Well, yeah, why take it down?
This is my question really for Urban, because apparently Principal Urban directed her to take down the poster at some point, or at least he assured the parents that would be taking place. My question is why? Do we not stand by the message? Are you saying that as a school that defund the police is not an appropriate movement? That's certainly the stance of the Attorney General's office, that should not be advocated in a classroom. Or are you suggesting that it was because the student was hurt by the political messaging of the poster? Are you suggesting, they need to actually be clear about why it was that the poster was taken down? Again, this is why having political messaging in a classroom is inappropriate, because now you have to jump through all of these hoops and hurdle all of these crazy obstacles in order to just simply have a classroom. If you don't have political messaging in a classroom, you don't have this problem.
Tony Kennett joining us here from Chalkboard Review. It was his outlet that broke the story later on Friday that a defund the police poster project was in the classroom, awaiting the return of the younger brother of the fallen Elwood police officer. Tony, you've heard from the school spokesperson and the family of the late Noah Shanavaz. Let's start with the original statement that you got from a spokesperson of the school. It seemed like this woman was being kind of snarky, a little tongue-in-cheek, smart-ass reply to you.
Oh, yeah. So this was the first in a string of emails that Emily Abbott sent me over saying that, well, if you would have just looked at the website, would have contacted me directly, I could have given you the statement for your and I quote, story. She actually put story in quotes in the first email. And then in the second one, she's like, well, you should have waited until the school had put out its statement before you wrote this article. Real journalists, real news, waits for the story. I was racing against the rumor mill that was already kicking up, people telling fancifully crazy stories about what had happened.
And this woman doesn't get to tell you how to do your job, Tony. I can't stress that enough.
This is the director of school and community relations for Hamilton Southeastern, this Emily Abbott's person.
And I don't see them holding this kind of standard when the Indy Star writes stories on behalf of a single doctor just throwing a story out there. That took them about 15 minutes to put the story out. Besides that, I ran this story by the family specifically. I did not post the story until they had approved every dot and tittle in the story. And then, we strive to incorporate student-driven, relevant lessons, which I guess is their way of saying, we want them to talk about defund the police movements in English class, as opposed to a social studies class where this kind of thing belongs, or a journalism class, I suppose. And then the family ended up actually calling out a later statement from Board of Trustees members where the family says, no, the teacher didn't apologize to our son. The teacher just said, well, I'm sorry you didn't talk to me first before you went to your parents.
Because she's not sorry. She's not sorry, and she should be removed from that classroom immediately. She's not sorry about it
I included some statements in the article saying there are some questions here to ask. Because of her progressive history, because how she's acted in recent years, there are some questions that are fair game to ask. For one, the family is the one asking these questions. So I included those questions the family had asked in the article. And that led to some pretty angry progressives from Hamilton County and a lot of my mentions over the weekend.
Yeah, that's my question. What's been the reaction on social media? Not that really matters, but I mean, it seems like there's been some support, but some anger as well from your reporting.
Yeah, I mean, there have been some really positive interactions. There have been some people on both the left and the right that say, hey, there needs to be a conversation about this. And that's really what I believe needs to happen. Obviously, in the case of Noah's family, it needs to be treated sensitively, respectfully, with good communication and a lot of consideration for the family in question here who's currently dealing with something I can't even begin to fathom.
Yeah.
And so that's certainly the first thing. The second bit of interesting reaction that I've received is a lot of people calling this some kind of politically motivated hit piece meant to paint a target on the teacher's back. First of all, I would invite any individual to cite one thing in the article that is incorrect. And then we can talk about that.
Right.
I reported all of the data that I had in front of me.
Do you have a picture of the poster?
Yeah, from Fisher's police officers, from other students, from other staff in the building, both teachers and ancillary staff. And I will continue to report those things. If you don't like how the story goes, you don't like the story's conclusions, then I would suggest that you're reading the story for the wrong reason.
And facts don't care about your feelings. We've said that before. And what I've heard from a lot of folks involved in this story, Tony, is that when it comes time to vote for school board members, there's going to be a lot of chatter about what's going on, because I don't think a lot of people were aware when they were electing school board members the last time around that they were signing up for a lot of this crap.
Yeah, so there's an interesting thing. One of the candidates who has not yet actually said whether she'll be running for re-election in Hamilton Southeastern, Michelle Fulhart, spends most of her time on Twitter. And she spends most of her time lambasting everyone who doesn't agree with her. She calls anything that she doesn't like non-factual or misinformation.
Sure.
Of course, Hamilton Southeastern has just started this whole misinformation campaign where apparently they're going to debunk stories about the school online. I'm amazed that taxpayer dollars are going to that. I think people should be concerned about school board elections with Hamilton Southeastern. This is a serious issue.
Well, I think the teacher needs to be, this is me speaking personally, needs to be removed from the classroom, suspended, complete overhaul and review of her record, and why in the world that was even up in her class to begin with. And the fact that this poor kid had to sit in there and look at that all day long, and she didn't even apologize to him, is quite frankly despicable.
She's not sorry. She's not sorry at all that this happened, and that's ridiculous. Tony, please keep us up to date, because I know you're going to get more updates as this story continues to develop. Where can people find the latest?
You can find the latest at chalkboardreview.com. Of course, you can follow us on social media, but if there are any questions or any additional comments from family or community members or those involved with the story, You can reach out to us at contact@thechalkboardreview.com, and there's also a contact form on our website.
Tony Kennett, Chalkboard Review, thank you.
Yes, sir. You have a good afternoon.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It's a grand slam of savings at Masters Heating and Cooling. Save $500 on a complete Carrier heating and air conditioning system, plus 10-year parts and labor warranty with special financing and zero money down with approved credit. Turn to the experts for utility and energy savings up to $1,490. It's a total incentive package of nearly $3,200. Upgrade with Masters Heating and Cooling today. Details online at mastersheatcool.com.
We are Masters.
Are you a mechanic or work on tractors on the farm? Come join the team at Reynolds, your hometown John Deere dealer. They're now hiring service technicians from any industry or mechanical background at all 5 of their central Indiana locations. Whether just out of high school and looking to learn the trade or a seasoned mechanic, there's a career path for you there. Get paid on-the-job training, competitive pay, and excellent benefits at a voted top Indiana workplace 5 years in a row. Learn more at reynoldsfarmequipment.com/careers. That's reynoldsfarmequipment.com/careers.
Kindergarten? It's closer than you think. Will your child be ready? Let us help with On My Way Pre-K. Your child may qualify for high-quality pre-K right here close to home. And it could be free. Indiana's On My Way Pre-K program is the best way to ensure your 4-year-old is ready for kindergarten. Get information and eligibility requirements at onmywaypre-k.org. When you want what's best for your child, you want On My Way Pre-K.
At Franciscan Health, we're inspired by what moves you and how you move through life. So if you're suffering from joint pain and want to get back to an active lifestyle, Franciscan Health Mooresville and Carmel, home to the Center for Hip and Knee Surgery, is your best move. Our world-renowned orthopedic surgeons offer the latest advancements in total joint replacement, including outpatient surgery. If you're ready to get moving with less pain, request an appointment at centerforhipandkneesurgery.org.
College football is back. It's time to enjoy the tradition, the fun, and the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. To celebrate the best time of the year, new customers can bet just $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets instantly, win or lose. You can also place a same-game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. Just combine multiple bets into one, like which team will get the win, which team to score first, and more. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WIBC. Bet just $5 on college football and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's code WIBC only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Indiana only. One per new customer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as 8 $25 free bets. Restrictions apply. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Plan your fall stay in the Brown County woods with Hills O'Brown Vacation Rentals. The stunning fall colors, beautiful views, and crisp fall air. Do some shopping in Nashville. Enjoy a hike or drive on the Brown County back roads. Then cozy up in a cabin rental through Hills O'Brown Vacation Rentals. Cabins of all sizes, seclusion in the woods, or stay in Nashville near all the quaint shops. Many cabins with hot tubs and game rooms. Cabins are booking quickly at browncountylogcabins.com. browncountylogcabins.com. As a parent, you want the best education for your child. Choose Marian University Preparatory School for this school year. Their faith-based online private school is currently enrolling students in grades 6 through 9. Your child will benefit from their personalized college prep curriculum and supportive community. Financial aid is available through the Indiana Choice Scholarship. To learn more about the unique educational experience of Marian University Preparatory School, visit k12.com/Marian. That's k12.com/MARIAN.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Matt Bear, I don't know how it is back there where your traffic center is, but during commercial breaks here in our studio, Kyle doesn't shut the hell up. Like, he just talks and talks. And like, we're trying to focus on doing our show. Like, commercial breaks are the one time where we can kind of collect ourselves. You know, we just got done having a great conversation with Tony Kennett, and Kyle just doesn't shut the hell up.
He just told us the worst story I mean, the worst story I've ever heard in my life.
And we're going, like as much as we can before it becomes painfully obvious we don't care.
Now I kind of want him to tell the story real quick.
Kyle, I tell you what, let's go to Matt Bear first, and then Kyle can bore the rest of our audience the way he bores us.
That was a great story, Hammer. Looking at the south side, eastbound 465 crash clear at White River, and we're a little bit slow back to 70, and then we are still stop and go back to Washington, US 40, but the important part about that is crash clear. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get the backyard of your dreams. Book now with Indy Decorative Concrete, your backyard patio experts. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Just stay on with us here, Matt. Okay?
All right, so it's 80 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
I'm going to make you suffer through this, too.
And Kyle, please, tell us the story that you couldn't wait to tell us the minute that we got off the phone with Tony Kennett.
So I DoorDashed over the weekend, and I said I had the ultimate dad joke, or uncle joke in my case, of the weekend. I had a DoorDash pickup at Crumble Cookies, okay? So I walk up, and there's a guy standing there, and there's a couple standing there behind him. The guy that's standing there is like you, Hammer. He's annoyed. He's mad. He's angry already. And then me, all positive, upbeat. I walk up. This guy goes, "Oh, if you're DoorDash, you're going to be waiting here forever." And I looked at him, and I said, "Well, I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles." And then he gave me no reaction. And then the couple behind him, the dude was you. He goes, "Oh, this guy will be here all night."
You know, the thing is, here's the point. And Matt Bear, I'm sorry you had to suffer through that.
I'm just a remarkable.
Misery loves company, Matt.
But that was a story unsolicited here in the studio. He just started talking about door dashing and something about a cookie crumbling.
Right. We literally put our headphones down and turned off our microphones, and we get stuck with this DoorDash story.
Well, somebody had to have said, "How's your weekend, Kyle?" or something like that.
Don't ever make that mistake. Do not make that mistake. You'll get cornered for 10 minutes.
Right. It's either that or you'll get 15 minutes of a wrestling monologue. Like, don't ever talk to Kyle because it'll just suck the life right out of the room.
And I'm honestly, I have no idea why I started telling you guys that. I just started telling you.
We don't either. We don't either. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. When no one's in a hurry, there'll be days like this. When all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit, then I must remember, there'll be days like this. The lyrics from Van Morrison's song make a great anthem for retirees. When it's not always raining, when there's no one complaining, when no one steps on your dreams, there'll be days like this. The good life in retirement. Can there actually be days like that, even in these challenging times? This is Brian Singer with Singer Financial. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Henry Ford said that. Henry Ford and Van Morrison, an odd couple perhaps, but let's focus on the perspective their messaging represents for today's retirees. When you ring out the changes of how everything is, well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. Van Morrison's Days Like This is an anthem of positive changes. That's what retirement should be. That's what retirement can be. A new chapter lived on your terms, based on your choices, your goals, your priorities, and your purpose. You can't control the stock market. You can't control inflation or interest rates or the price of a barrel of oil or a loaf of bread. But you can choose to plan for your future. If you think you can or you can't live the life of your dreams, you're right. When everything falls into place like the flick of a switch, Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. Life is about special moments. Don't wait for them, create them. At Singer Financial, we believe optimism is a competitive advantage. If you're ready to pursue the life of your dreams and live a work-optional lifestyle as unique as you are, we should visit. Call 317-852-9153 or go to singerfinancialgroup.com to schedule a discovery visit.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Old National Bank is asking businesses to get old. But first, they have questions.
Who runs my business if I get old?
You do. You can get old and remain young.
Is that possible?
With a commercial bank as good as Old National, yes.
What will it feel like to get old?
Well, business owners describe a feeling of euphoria, having local decision-making and committed relationship bankers.
Okay, one old guy coming up.
Introducing Old National Bank, where business relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
Nearly 90% of people that struggle with addiction don't get help. Don't wait until it's too late. With Landmark Recovery, you can overcome drug addiction and live a better life. Call Landmark Recovery at 866-LANDMARK or visit landmarkrecovery.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, law enforcement in Marion County voted no confidence against the county prosecutor. Police are investigating a shooting on the east side of Indy, and Governor Eric Holcomb is out of the country this week, visiting Taiwan and South Korea. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
It's primary eve again. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Voting tomorrow in more closely watched races for Congress, with Republicans still holding an advantage, but Democrats appear to be gaining some ground.
Republicans are forecasted to win control of the House in November, but with a slimmer majority than previous forecasts. That's the assessment from the latest Fox News Power Rankings. The latest rankings project a Republican majority between 2 and 30 seats, depending on the outcome of 28 toss-up House races. Control of the Senate, currently divided 50-50, remains in toss-up territory. Over the past 6 weeks, Democrats have seen polling boost on generic ballot questions, and President Biden's approval rating is up slightly to 42% in the latest Fox News poll.
Fox's Jared Halpern. The countdown to the midterms runs through Florida and New York tomorrow, and voters in Oklahoma will decide runoffs. Inflation remains a top concern, but White House economic advisor Jared Bernstein tells Fox News.
In 22 states, the unemployment rate is below 3%. That is an historical record. Retail sales strong, industrial production strong.
Wall Street's worrying again, though, about the Fed's strategy. The Dow dropping 643 points today. The S&P and the NASDAQ tumbling more than 2%. The Arkansas governor is pledging action after a viral video showing a suspect on the ground being beaten during an arrest outside a convenience store in Mulberry near the Oklahoma border.
This is not what our law enforcement community represents. It's not the proper response.
Governor Asa Hutchinson says appropriate action will be taken based on the results of the investigation. 2 sheriff's deputies and a Mulberry officer have been suspended for now. The suspect, treated at a hospital, then released to police custody, faces charges including battery, resisting arrest, and making terroristic threats. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A strong response. 81 and mostly cloudy downtown. Your radar is clear. Lows into the 60s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02.
Police officers countywide voted. 99% have no confidence in the Marion County prosecutor. 97% no confidence in the Marion County court system.
Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder at a press conference this morning. He says too many criminals have gotten out on bail too easy and stay out. Snyder also says he's frustrated that County Prosecutor Ryan Mears will not account for those criminals being turned loose and then committing more crimes.
Also outlining our questions to the prosecutor, all of which have gone unanswered. Not even a turn down, just unanswered.
A woman was found shot in a parking lot on the east side Monday morning. IMPD says it was near the intersection of 38th Street and Sherman Drive. She died after being taken to the hospital. Police are still investigating. The Vigo County Sheriff's Office says Christian Eubanks, Jaden Masilli, and Caleb Van Hooser were the three Indiana State students killed in a car crash over the weekend. Eubanks and Van Hooser were freshmen on the football team. The wreck put two other students in the hospital. He's the first U.S. governor to go there since before COVID. Eric Holcomb is in Taiwan this week talking about the economy.
The Indiana-Taiwan agreement is focused on building upon those economic ties in critical industries, semiconductors, ag, bioscience, advanced manufacturing, and technology.
He says the purpose of the trip is to strengthen Indiana's economic, academic, and cultural connections with Taiwan. He'll be in South Korea later this week before coming home Saturday. Some one-way streets in downtown Indy are going to be converted into two-way streets, says Mayor Joe Hogsett. He and the Department of Public Works celebrated the conversion of Fort Wayne Avenue to two-way traffic this morning. The city plans to do the same with a portion of College Ave and the eastern parts of New York and Michigan streets. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and autopay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison stuck on 65 inbound style, 29th Street to the north split, barely moving. Eastbound 70, also really bad right now from Holt Road into Meridian, Illinois. That's stop and go traffic. Jailbreak on the south side, eastbound 465 at White River. Crash moved over, and we're still slow back to 70, then stop and go back to Washington Street, US 40, but that is an improvement. Traffic sponsored by LP SmartSide Trim and Siding. Visit lpcore.com/pro. LP SmartSide Trim and Siding helps you efficiently install more siding in less time. Side with LP SmartSide Trim and Siding. Visit lpcore.com/pro to learn more. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Dry and cooler tonight under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow will start your day with areas of patchy fog. By afternoon, sunshine with temperatures warming to the mid to upper 80s. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Rick Snyder is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 86 here in Indy. He joins us. Rick, we've been talking about the vote that went down earlier today. Officers in Marion County voting no confidence in the prosecutor and basically the justice system in Marion County. How did we get to this point?
Well, you guys know better than most. We've been talking about this for 3 years and warning that these fractures in the system were getting worse. And we've seen example after example after example of residents, quite frankly, being slaughtered and victimized by this revolving door of criminal justice. And now we've seen multiple examples of officers being critically injured, attacks increasing on the officers. And now we've seen a Central Indiana officer lose his life with an alleged suspect who's been arrested for that murder that has ties back to Indianapolis's criminal justice system, in which he got a lenient sentence after being convicted of shooting at Indianapolis officers. So that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Members, they didn't ask, they demanded that we hold this confidence vote on both the prosecutor and the court system. And as a result of a full week of voting last week, the membership, 99% no confidence for the prosecutor and 97% no confidence for the court system, both resulting in the ultimate no confidence standings. People have asked us, what's this mean? I think, first and foremost, we've never been here before. We don't know of any city in the nation that has had law enforcement officers have no confidence in their court system. That's a huge deal, let alone the person that is responsible for prosecuting the crimes. And so we got to figure out a way out of this mess. But, guys, it goes back to this. The officers have made clear we have been victimized in our community and many other communities across this country by a failed social experiment that's been conducted on the people of our city, and it's been an unchallenged lie. And now the officers are saying that these so-called bail reform and the revolving door of criminal justice just does not work and has instead been a disservice to our neighborhoods.
I'm curious, Rick, have you heard from Prosecutor Mears or anybody from that office? Has there been a response or a statement made?
I can't remember the last time I've heard from Prosecutor Mears since he's assumed the office, was appointed to it. Yeah. We've made multiple attempts to contact him, as you guys know, even public letters, even going to a public event of his, asking him questions afterwards, and he ran away. So I'm not anticipating that. I would welcome it. But first and foremost, we're going to be going, I anticipate, to the Indiana State Supreme Court, asking them to engage on this issue, help get a handle on this. And we're also going to be seeking a meeting with the governor of the state of Indiana.
Rick, you mentioned in your press conference earlier today that all over the country, law enforcement works with the prosecution. Even if the prosecutor has different political beliefs, for the most part, law enforcement can find some sort of common ground with the prosecution. Why is that not the case here? Like, how is what's happening here different than, say, Portland or Seattle or places like that?
Well, I'll give you the greatest example. The current prosecutor's predecessor, which was Terry Curry. Again, it's not about politics, because politics has no place in law enforcement or criminal prosecutions. But Terry Curry criminally charged many police officers, and we work together still. So he's a professional, had the ability to do his job, whether it involved an officer or someone else, but at the same time work with law enforcement to bring about successful prosecutions on any criminal defendants in which we did investigations. Here's the difference. You have a prosecutor who was not elected, was politically appointed by party insiders and not the public, and then on top of that has submitted himself to this woke joke criminal justice reform that has done nothing but deform our communities, and it's the most marginalized in our cities and towns who are suffering as a consequence of it.
So where do we go from here? I know you said you want to meet with the governor and the Supreme Court. What will those meetings accomplish, and what do you expect to happen next after this vote?
Well, we've called for 3 years to get people around the table and address these gaps in the system. I hope they can lead the way in helping to make that happen. Listen, we know as Indianapolis goes, so goes the rest of our state. We're seeing the ripple effects throughout central Indiana with crime and violence surging into surrounding communities. Mayors in surrounding communities are pushing back and saying there's got to be a change. Even Greg Ballard, a prior mayor of the city of Indianapolis, has come back and said, listen, folks, all roads lead back to your prosecutor. You've got to make a change. We don't have a recall in Indiana like many other communities do across the nation, but we do have a recall. It's called an election. Yeah. That is coming up, and we hope that the community will stand with law enforcement officers and say something has to change, or we're taking back control of this office. And hopefully our court system can help fix some of the gaps in their system. We've never tried to make this personal, but guys, we've got to put people over politics and get away from these failed experiments that have been inflicted upon our people and our community.
Rick Snyder is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, joining us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Had a big vote of no confidence earlier in regards to the court system here in Marion County, as well as the prosecutor. Rick, was there one specific incident that was the straw that broke the camel's back? Because you've been coming on our program for a number of years, and we're thankful for that. And we've talked about a lot of ridiculous things. We've talked about the rotating criminal justice system, the revolving door. But this is different. You mentioned it earlier. There's not been a group like this do this across the country. Was there one specific moment where you and your officer said, all right, that's it?
I think without a doubt, I think when you saw the FedEx incident occur and we had a prosecutor acknowledge that he failed to do his job and follow the red flag law and intentionally sat on the filing, and we had 13 people shot, 8 people die, and we saw really no repercussions for that other than the court system stripping him out of that process. And we saw the filings for red flag filings go through the roof after that. We saw where the problem was. But when we saw officers being attacked by repeat violent offenders that shouldn't have been out, and that was convincingly demonstrated, on top of record-breaking homicide levels in our city, guys, you got to remember, our officers are the ones that make the arrest, put the bad person in jail, only to watch them come back out. And then they're standing over the body of the victim of that person or the suspect themselves lying dead in the middle of the street. That sounds blunt, but it's the truth. And they got to go home with that day in and day out, knowing that they're doing their job, but the rest of the system is not doing theirs. So again, the police are not your problem. It's the rest of the system. But I've said for 3 years now, you guys know, heaven help you if an officer dies. Well, when we had Noah Shanavez lose his life and we saw that connection back to Indianapolis, and it did involve a lenient modified sentence, I clearly articulated that today in the press conference. That's when folks said that's enough, and we're going to have to take a step over this line, and it's why we stand. It's not just for our fellow officers, but also for the residents we serve.
Well, Rick, I know you've had a lot of things on your plate here today. You've had a press conference. You're doing the media rounds. We appreciate you taking the time out to join us here to explain a little bit more about why this vote happened the way that it did. We thank you for that.
Yeah, guys, and just a reminder, your police are not going anywhere. We're going to continue doing our job. We love you as our community, and we're going to continue to stand for you. Just stand with us and help take our city back.
You got it. Thank you. That is Rick Snyder, president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86 here in Indy. All right, Matt Bear, what is the latest?
Stopped inbound 65 29th Street to the north, split at eastbound 70 at Grind before Harding into Meridian, Illinois. Pockets of stop-and-go traffic on the south side eastbound 465 running from Sam Jones over to Emerson because of a crash from earlier. It is out of the interstate. And southbound 65 from Keystone Avenue to 465 also slow onto the exit. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. If you're hiring, you need Indeed. Their hiring tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews on one place. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
81 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Coming up next, we'll shift gears. We'll talk about something fun. Kevin Bowen covers the Indianapolis Colts for our sister station, 107.5 The Fan. We will talk about what the Colts look like so far. Where do we go from here? That's next.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration.
You've got two types of gut flora, Firmicutes and Bacteroides. There should be a 50-50 balance on those. If you have a balance of the two gut floras, basically one helps you to absorb nutrients and one helps you to absorb calories. And you need both there to actually be healthy. The problem is the gut flora that absorbs calories is now, in the average person, 98% of all the gut flora, and only 2% or less, usually, the type that actually gets the nutrients in. From the food you eat, you're getting twice the amount of calories that you should, and none of the nutrients, which actually makes you fat and makes you hungry. And we have a way of fixing that. If you can get that up, that actually will cut down on 50% of your calorie intake. Not even changing your diet.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather, Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Man, oh man, Window Nation's got their back-to-school sale going on. It's huge. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, no limit, and no money up front until 2025. They've installed over 1 million windows in over 150,000 homes. My house being one of them. And the windows, by the way, made right here locally in the Midwest. Window Nation, baby. They're the best.
Check out this deal. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free on any style from Window Nation. And there's no limit. If you want to buy 4, you get 4 for free. Here's the best part. You don't pay anything until 2025. No payments, no down payments, no interest, nothing. So you're going to save thousands of dollars when you get windows for free. Your energy bills are going to go down, and you don't pay anything for a couple of years. What are you waiting for? Call Window Nation now, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This is the sound of someone taking a free test walk in personally fit arch supports at the Good Feet store. Ah, music to our ears. Just like the words of Randy and Dennis, real customers who decided to give Good Feet arch supports a try with a free fitting and test walk.
In the morning, it felt like I was standing on marbles on my heel.
Working at an amusement park and being on my feet all day long, extreme pain every day. Trying so many different things over the counter, none of it worked.
When I went into the Good Feet store, the fitting was all about me.
She brought out these 2 little arch supports, tried them on, walked around the store with them, and immediately felt better. It's amazing.
Your day becomes better and the sun shines. It's a good life.
See how our trusted specialists and personally fit arch supports can help with foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Stop by the Good Feet store for a free fitting and test walk today. Your good life starts with Good Feet.
Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options at the Good Feet stores in Indy.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $14 billion were stolen last year. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Come on, we're going to be late to the cookout.
I was just packing up my famous mac and cheese.
I hope you packed the Pepto, too.
Huh?
Pepto-Bismol provides fast relief from heartburn and indigestion. You know, that uncomfortable feeling after you eat too much. And after the deviled eggs, baked beans, and barbecue ribs, you're going to need it.
Barbecue ribs? I should probably pack an extra shirt, too.
Good call.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers, certified electronics recycling. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Volunteers make Indy a better place to live. If you know one who relies on their car, they can get a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Nominate them at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Kevin Bowen is one half of the morning show on our sister sports station, 107.5 The Fan. Kevin and Query. KB, Colts just wrapped up preseason game number 2. But before that, I think that's really where the story is. A couple days they had scrimmaging against the Detroit Lions. That's where you saw the starters in action. Take us through what went on in these practices against the Lions and, of course, on Saturday.
Yeah, you got to go back to Wednesday, and I thought that was one of the better passing days we've seen out of the Colts and Matt Ryan, really all camp long. When they put on full pads, I think that area of the offense has been a bit exposed and just hasn't looked very consistent. Really good day last Wednesday. Alec Pierce in particular, the rookie out of Cincinnati, very good at one-on-ones. He kind of made a highlight reel catch in the end zone of the team periods, which I think has made the rounds on social media. And then he got into Thursday, and it was a good start, but I thought kind of a poor finish to those joint sessions. And again, these are starters on starters. These are good on good. You didn't see that in the game on Saturday. But I thought the Lions won, some of the final few periods of those joint sessions. And then you look at Saturday, and the Colts played, I don't know, maybe 5 starters in the game. I don't know if Detroit played any, to be honest with you, maybe just a couple. So it's a very scaled back version of what you saw out of those joint practices.
What about the backup quarterback situation? I think it's kind of fascinating. I know it's backup QBs, but are the Colts going to keep Foles and Ellinger?
Well, Nick Foles will be the backup. There's no debating that.
Okay, but Ellinger, you've been saying he has a better arm right now.
Yeah, I don't know about better arm, but he's certainly made more plays. I think his arm looks improved from last year, which is a credit to him. I think when you get to this level and you see a guy that started for 4 years at a major college like Texas, you sometimes don't see them, able to make like big strides in the arm strength category. But I do feel like Ellinger has done that. I think the bigger question comes a week from Tuesday, and that's when final roster cuts are made. And the question then is, can you keep Sam Ellinger on your 53-man roster? And not to get too deep in the weeds, but basically you have 53 guys on your roster at all times. 46 of them dress on game day. If you have the 53, you're protected. If you put a guy in your practice squad, another team can claim him and bring them onto their active roster. So that's a risk you would run in exposing Ellinger to waivers, and then another team could claim him. I think as of now, they would probably like to try and keep him on that 53-man roster. They're in a pretty good health situation.
That was my question. Matt Ryan, he's getting on in age, but he's still okay. But is he injury prone at all, or has he stayed away from that kind of thing through his career?
No, certainly stayed away from it. I think he's missed one game since 2009.
That's awesome.
It's pretty remarkable how healthy he's been in his career. And I want to make it clear. Ellinger's looked very good against guys that are waiting for the XFL to start in the spring.
Right.
It's not like he's playing against NFL type of competition. Now, that's not his fault either. He can only go out there and produce against, who he's thrown out there. But I think preseason football is kind of made for Ellinger. It's chaotic. It's off script. It's backyard football. The offensive lines are usually terrible. So a guy that can scramble and keep some plays alive like Ellinger is better suited. Whereas you get in the regular season, teams are game planning for you. They're keeping you in the pocket. It's a little bit more of, all right, can you do what the defense is trying to take away from you? You don't get that in the preseason. So basically, I think this: Matt Ryan, Nick Foles, Sam Ellinger in that order. No debate with 1, 2, or 3 in that order, at least based off Colts headquarters. And then I think Ellinger can stay on your 53-man roster, given the fact that he's younger, like you said, Nige. He could be your backup of the future.
Hey, KB, where are we at with the artist formerly known as Darius Leonard, Shaquille Leonard? Where are we at with his recovery process here?
Yeah, I feel like we're about to get some answers. I mentioned final roster cuts a week from Tuesday. We've yet to see him practice, and we're 3 weeks away from the season opener. So I feel like this is kind of a critical week. If he gets through this week without practicing, week 1, I think would be in jeopardy. Maybe he could give it a go, but with 2 weeks of practice time. But we haven't seen him, in 9 months. So I think that's something that you have to note. It's a weird situation. He had back surgery in June. But again, I think this is kind of a critical week. But I bring up roster cuts a week from Tuesday. And again, I know a lot of this can kind of be a little bit advanced courses in roster cutting. But right now, Shaquille Leonard is on the physically unable to perform list. If you leave him on that list, he misses 4 games to start the season.
Yeah.
If you take him off that list, then he would be ready to go, theoretically, for one of those first 4 games. So we should get an answer, whether it's from Frank Reich's mouth in a press conference or based off a transaction the team has to make. And the next week, we will get some answer on Leonard. And now I think, it's just kind of practice watch time. Final week at Grand Park, 3 practices. Do we see him? If not, all eyes turn to West 56th Street in 2 weeks before the season opener.
What about Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs in the NFL? What are you seeing out of him?
Yeah, he's good to go. I mean, they're putting him in bubble wrap for the preseason, which you totally understand given the nature of that position and just, how many carries he had. I want to say he had 50 more carries than anybody in the NFL last year. So as you look ahead to Saturday, it's the preseason finale. Tom Brady could be inside of Lucas Oil Stadium, could be playing. He's missed some time away from the team with the Bucs, but is back this week. The Colts are going to play their starters, pretty much everybody not named Taylor, around a half.
How's he been looking? But how's he been looking in practice?
Good. I mean, the thing about Taylor, and honestly, you could say it's about any running back, it's not like they're tackling them live to the ground. Yeah. So it is difficult to totally gauge, but, he's busted a few big runs, and he's a guy, I just don't worry about. I mean, I know he's only been in the league for 2 years, but, and again, this is super hyperbole, but 2 years into his NFL career, the guy is on his way to the Hall of Fame. Now, again, that's extremely hyperbolic statement, but 2 years in, he's put up those type of numbers. He hasn't missed a game since his Pee Wee days. I mean, this is a guy that he just looks different, and he's one that I just don't worry about.
Where can we get more coverage of the Colts and all things training camp related, KB?
Yeah, I've got a daily notebook that goes up on our website, 1075thefan.com. So I got 3 more to go. Like I said, practices on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They bump up practice time from noon to 10 a.m. That's the final one at Grand Park. And then trying to cut this roster down. It'll be down to 80 by tomorrow, down to 53 by next Tuesday. So you can check that out on our website. A little bit of a roster projection there as well.
Kevin Bowen, 1075 The Fan. KB, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's take a look at the news right now with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They want change. Mostly sunny and 81 downtown. Nothing on your radar. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. The official vote from the Indy Fraternal Order of Police. No confidence. Donnie Burgess reports.
Indy FOP President Rick Snyder in a Monday press conference.
Police officers countywide voted. 99% have no confidence in the Marion County prosecutor, 97% no confidence in the Marion County court system.
He says the vote is a result of fractures within the court system, repeat violent criminals let out on light bonds, and Mears's failed use of the red flag law, as Snyder sees it. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Beech Grove basketball coach Mike Renfro has resigned as a coach and teacher. He was arrested after cops found cocaine in his car earlier this month. Renfro, who led the Hornets to their first state championship last year, had already been suspended after his arrest. The governor of Arkansas is upset after 3 cops were shown on video beating a suspect.
That is reprehensible conduct in which a suspect is beat in that fashion.
Governor Asa Hutchinson said while it was clear the suspect has a history, the manner in which the officers responded was not up to Arkansas police training standards. Her life got interrupted while doing her job, but John Herrick reports on how the fiancée of Richmond police officer Sierra Burton isn't giving up.
Sierra Neal was supposed to get married to Burton, but that changed when Burton was shot on the job by a man who police say is now in custody. Burton is alive but seriously hurt at a hospital. Neal came to the hospital in her wedding dress anyway on Saturday. Video of that was posted to TikTok, and she says no matter what happens, Burton will always be her wife. The video has millions of views and has been liked about 300,000 times. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A meeting with your child's school might not be a bad idea if your kid really hates going and it lasts several weeks into the school year, says Dr. Beth Trammell, professor of child psychology at IU East.
It may start with us trying to establish what's really going on at the school, what is underlying their struggle with school.
She tells WIBC's Terry Stacy it's called school refusal, and it's more than just getting used to a new routine. With traffic, here's Matt Bear.
Stall on the ramp to Meridian Penn, southbound 65. Harris said that ramp's open partially. Black Man is it slow right now. We are stopped Back to 21st and Stop and go a little bit beyond that. Also, eastbound 70 still dragging to downtown from Harding. Eastbound 465 south as Side Park. It's a slow Sam Jones over to Emerson. Had a crash in there earlier that has cleared. And then a wreck 38th at Moeller. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get the backyard of your dreams. Book now with Indy Decorative Concrete, your backyard patio experts. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Dry and cooler tonight under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow will start your day with areas of patchy fog by afternoon. Sunshine with temperatures warming to the mid to upper 80s. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Breaking the law, breaking the law. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. New York clearly dealing with the more important issues of the day. Unelected Governor Kathy Hochul, who took over when the Love Gov disgraced himself and resigned, is working on Senate Bill 536.
Okay, so I assume that this is going to be designed to stop all the grab-and-go robberies or the multiple armed assaults that are happening daily in New York.
Multiple armed random assaults on people, the grab-and-go stuff, the crime, homicides through the roof. And what Senate Bill 536 does, it's called the salesman law. It was proposed to change forms of gender language so that they would be more inclusive among everyone within the state.
So wait a minute, you're telling me that Senate Bill 536, which is a really important piece of legislation for the non-elected Governor Kathy Hochul.
No, it's not important.
This has nothing to do with crime or punishment or legal stuff.
No.
This is about pronouns.
This is about pronouns. This is being more inclusive. So, in all federal documents now, the bill is going to ban the word, for example, salesman, and replace it with salesperson, as well as replace words such as his and her with woke pronouns, they and them. This is a bill signed into law.
This is what they're working on in New York, because everything else is running so swimmingly well that this is what they're spending their time and their money and their energy on.
I can't wait to see Lee Zeldin, who's a congressman running for governor, a Republican. I've heard many interviews this Zeldin guy. He was the guy that got attacked, stabbed a couple weeks ago by an attacker. I cannot wait till he trounces this lunatic. I mean, he's running on a platform of, crime, basically.
What's the polling show? Does he have a shot?
Yeah, absolutely. The polling is very good for him. And so, especially when people see the Senate Bill 536, the salesman law. I mean, you should have seen her sign this thing. She had everybody around her desk like she was signing the Emancipation Proclamation or something.
Is this the same lunatic, Kathy Hochul, who got offended at the word inmate? You can't call people at Rikers Island inmates anymore. They're incarcerated individuals.
That's right. That's a couple of weeks ago. So she's all into banning words now and signing this into legislation. It's crazy. So that's what they're working on in New York, not the crime, not the random assaults, people just attacking elderly men and women for no reason whatsoever, at the giant flash mobs that go in and rob entire convenience stores. No, none of that. It's the salesman law. It's literally, that's what it's called, the salesman law. We're not going to, in our official federal documents, we are not going to use the word salesman, and we're going to replace it with salesperson.
So that's what's going on the East Coast of the United States. Out on the West Coast, I think we need to have a round of Is It Racist?
It's time to play Is It Racist?
Now, for somebody that's new to the Hammer and Nigel show, here to explain how we play this game is AOC.
Is it racist? Is something racist, yes or no?
Easy enough.
Dateline UC Berkeley college campus. White people are banned from off-campus UC Berkeley student housing areas.
They're banning the whiteys?
A private housing co-op just off of the UC Berkeley campus has officially banned white visitors in the common areas or without consent from other tenants.
You got to get consent to go in and use the refrigerator.
You have to earn their respect, apparently.
Excuse me. Hi, I know I'm white. I'd like to get a Coke out of the vending machine. Get out of here, whitey. There's no whites allowed.
The person of color themed house is a housing co-op located near campus that, quote, aims to provide housing to low-income, first-generation immigrant and marginalized students of color, according to its website.
Does this have anything whatsoever to do with the university itself? Because I would be, that's something totally different here. This is excused by the university.
It's not affiliated with the university in any way, but anybody that's lived on a big college campus, like UC Berkeley is, you could live in a house nearby, and technically it's not affiliated with the university. I mean, I lived on a house near the campus of Ball State.
Sure.
It's like the movie Old School. Technically, it's not affiliated with the university, but it's totally right there.
Were you not, as a student at Ball State, because of your skin color, were there places you weren't allowed to go?
No, I could walk in. It wasn't like they were like, Whitey, get out of here. That was not happening.
So I can answer definitively here for you if you'd like. Yes, that's racist.
So if you walk into a building and they're like, whoa, you're the wrong color.
Yeah.
You need to get somebody in here that says it's okay. Yes, that's incredibly racist.
Wow.
We've got a very special visitor in studio, Nige.
Who is it?
It's been a little while since he's been here. Sexual harassment panda.
No.
Tell you what's right and wrong. Sexual harassment panda.
Are we spinning the wheel here?
He brought the wheel, so he's got it propped up right next to you, Nige. Right, reach over there, grab it, and give it a spin.
Spin the wheel of sexual harassment here.
Let's see what name lands on. Passing Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey. Oh, look at that.
I did not expect that one.
Gary Busey.
Actor Gary Busey. My goodness.
Gary Busey has been charged with groping 3 women at a Monster Mania celebrity convention in New Jersey last weekend. After it happened, he was removed from the convention and not asked to return. Now, Gary Busey's out there. He's 78 years old, had a really bad motorcycle accident, a number of years ago. I don't know if he's all there, but this is not good.
I don't think you use that as an excuse to grope women. Hey, no. I'm not all there, so squeeze. No, you can't do that.
Right. There's no posted video of what happened. So what we've done here at the Hammer and Nigel show is put together a montage of Gary Busey rambling about various things.
Early bird gets the worm, but who wants to live on worms?
The beautiful thing about all the words of the days, they end in a Y. And a Y is a symbol of a forked road.
I had a ghost one time come out of a big plate of soup I had, big bowl of soup. It was called a soup ghost.
Yeah. Remember the Alamo!
What the hell is wrong with Gary Busey?
It could have been Gary Busey or just as easily Joe Biden in that montage.
Next time we have tickets to give away, we're going to play that game, Busey or Biden. We're going to play you a soundbite. We're going to read you a quote. You have to tell us if it's Busey or Biden. Quote, I'm going to start a small fire in your mama's panties.
Busey or Biden?
Busey or Biden?
He's been in some good movies, though. Point Break, loved him in Point Break with Keanu Reeves, and a movie from my childhood called Silver Bullet with Corey Haim. It's Stephen King.
I remember that,
where there's a werewolf in town killing people. Another one of those movies my dad let me watch. I shouldn't have been watching it when I was 10 years old. Horrifically violent.
Gary Busey was the Sage veteran pitcher in the movie Rookie of the Year, where he was the Cubs veteran pitcher, and he took young Henry Rowan-Gardner under his wing. Stedman, I believe, was his name at that point. We've got some drama at a Taco Bell.
Good.
Nige.
I was hoping we'd get to this. What happened?
Woman was in line for Taco Bell, and she lost her mind. She flipped out, but was it warranted? Turns out the person in front of her that was holding up the big line had just ordered $300 worth of tacos at the Taco Bell drive-thru at 11:30 at night. She went on TikTok. Her name is Emily Stott, and she claimed that she waited in line for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
She finally found out what was happening, and this was the TikTok video she did alerting the folks behind her what was going on.
Oh my God. Yo! The reason this line is so long because this ordered $300 worth of tacos! And didn't get Taco Bell no heads up! $300 worth of tacos! That's like 100 tacos!
I love it. Yeah.
So are you allowed to have that type of reaction if the person in front of you has just ordered $300 worth of Taco Bell?
Absolutely. And I kind of have a similar story real quick. I was down in Vegas in 2008. My friends Josh and Lindsay got married. Had sort of an informal reception up in one of the suites, the MGM Grand afterwards. Not much to eat or anything. So I think I moseyed on down to McDonald's there in the food court there at the MGM Grand. Ordered 100 double cheeseburgers.
Oh, damn. You were that guy.
Yeah, I was that guy. I was like, am I allowed to order? Can you guys do 100 cheeseburgers? Like, yeah, we can do 100 cheeseburgers. So they were each $1. So I spent $100. And I walked in back into that reception area with 2 bags full of double cheeseburgers, doing the billionaire strut. And I was like the hero of the party. I was the hero, man. Just passing out double cheeseburgers to everybody at the wedding reception.
You were like coming in from a Michael Bay movie. The only thing missing was like a building exploding in the background.
That's exactly what it was.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
If I had low back pain, that was due to herniated discs.
Meet Dr. Justin Garzone, another satisfied patient who found regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
Over a very short period of time, the pain went away completely, and I've had absolutely no symptoms or pain since my treatment.
Before Dr. Garzone found QC Kinetics, he was looking at all the old school pain treatments.
It was recommended that I have steroid injections done, but then unfortunately my insurance company said that I would have to do 3 months of physical therapy first, and I needed to get better quickly.
With QC Kinetics, the doctor got lasting relief with no downtime.
I didn't have to take any medications during my treatment. I avoided surgery, and I am now pain-free.
Don't live with chronic pain, and don't go under the knife. Call QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 463-235-7160. That's 463-235-7160. In Eagle Creek and Greenwood, 463-235-7160.
No doubt the stock market's pretty crazy right now. You can't control inflation and interest rates, but you can't control how you plan for your future. If you want to live the life of your dreams, you better start doing it now. That Singer Financial team can help you achieve your goals in retirement.
Whatever your vision of retirement is, let the amazing staff at the Singer Financial Group walk you through all the steps needed to make your dream a reality. Whether that's full retirement, whether that's a work optional lifestyle, moving to Florida, staying in Indy, whatever you want. Turn that dream into a reality with the help from the Singer Financial Group. Set up a time to chat today. 317-852-9153. That's 852-9153, or go to singerfinancialgroup.com. Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LL3, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
At Franciscan Health, we're inspired by what moves you and how you move through life. So if you're suffering from joint pain and want to get back to an active lifestyle, Franciscan Health Mooresville and Carmel, home to the Center for Hip and Knee Surgery, is your best move. Our world-renowned orthopedic surgeons offer the latest advancements in total joint replacement, including outpatient surgery. If you're ready to get moving with less pain, request an appointment at centerforhipandkneesurgery.org.
Want to explore using Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits to heat and cool your home or business? Learn more at absolutecomfort.org. That's absolutecomfort.org.
Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield and the Indiana Fever aid food insecurity at Brookside School 54 at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads
Vehicle disabled southbound 65 to West Street, and it's actually right there on the ramp to Meridian Penn. So the ramp is open, partially blocked. In the meantime, we're just jammed from 21st Street down to the north split. Also looking at a crash now, just coming in westbound 70 in the north split. Left lane blocked, has us stopped back to rural. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There's still time to get the backyard of your dreams. Book now with Indy Decorative Concrete, your backyard patio experts, IndyDecorativeConcrete.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
80 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You set them up and I'll knock them back, Lloyd. One by one.
We are Curry Booze News, cause it's really fun.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Nigel presents
Booze News, Booze News.
Yeah. Time for
Booze News. You know, I never even heard about this until yesterday. Hammer, did you know that former U.S. women's soccer star Hope Solo got a DUI and was arrested in North Carolina in March? And she was passed out at the wheel of the car, and she had her 2-year-old twins in the car with her.
I remember that story.
Do? I don't even remember this. And the only reason I'm talking about it is because she's got some podcast now, and she was trying to tell everybody how, it was the biggest mistake of my life, and I was mom shamed around the world. No, that's a new one. A mother shamed, I think was the word she used.
So she's making herself the victim out of this. You had 2 young kids in the car. You were incredibly drunk. You passed out. And because people said, hey, I can't believe you're doing that with your kids in the car, you were the victim of mom shaming?
And again, it's not like she had like one White Claw and got behind the wheel and got pulled over and blew a breathalyzer of a .01.
Right.
I mean, that in and of itself is probably unacceptable with kids in the car. But to be passed out in the middle of the day with their 2-year-old twins behind a wheel, that's some serious, shall we say, alcoholism. That's some next level Leaving Las Vegas Nicolas Cage type stuff.
And I'm reading the story here on what happened afterwards. She entered an alcohol treatment program, received a 24-month suspended sentence, was fined $2,500, and forced to pay the cost of the lab test, which was an additional $600. But she does go on this podcast now and claim that the criticism toward her made her feel bad because she was mother shamed.
Well, look, you read a little bit more of this article. She does get into saying she had a really bad problem. No question about it. It was the biggest mistake of her life. She regrets it, obviously. But but trying to say, make people feel sorry for her now that I was mother shamed. Well, you did pass out behind the wheel of a car with your 2-year-old twins in the back. There's probably some criticism that was warranted there. I'm not trying to get on my high horse or anything, Hammer.
Right. We're not in the business to defend anybody here about this story, but it's a hard sell to make yourself the victim considering what exactly went down. I was mother shamed. Well, maybe you should have been.
That's a good point. We have another hour of the Hammer Nigel Show coming up.
We got a lot of local news stories going on. The vote is in, no confidence. The Indiana Police Department, the FOP, they've made their feelings known about what's happening in Marion County and this mess up at the Hamilton Southeastern schools. What the hell are they doing up there? And these little smart-ass trolls that work for them that are responding, speaking on behalf of the school. We'll get to all of that next.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you cool and comfortable quickly. Call 855-1HOUR for $50 off your repair or visit onehourair.com and keep your cool. Beer.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
BC Bank, leading the way to your financial wellness. No matter where your financial journey begins, Pathways banking options at Busey are designed with your goals in mind. Busey Bank, building strong financial futures. One family, one street, one city at a time. Busey, your partner in building business and growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Mortgage rates are down and home equity is up. If you've been thinking about a refinance, now's the perfect time. Our average client received over $54,000 with a simple cash-out refinance. And I can structure that loan where you can miss a few months of mortgage payments. Now that should put you on the path to financial freedom. How much can you save? Let's find out today. Start online at thehomeloanexpert.com, home of the 10-day closing guarantee.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Are you a mechanic or work on tractors on the farm? Come join the team at Reynolds, your hometown John Deere dealer. They're now hiring service technicians from any industry or mechanical background at all 5 of their central Indiana locations. Whether just out of high school and looking to learn the trade or a seasoned mechanic, there's a career path for you there. Get paid on-the-job training, competitive pay, and excellent benefits at a voted top Indiana workplace 5 years in a row. Learn more at reynoldsfarmequipment.com/careers. That's reynoldsfarmequipment.com/careers.
ZZ Top Raw Whiskey Tour. This Friday, TCU Amphitheater at White River State Park. Playing all their classic hits. ZZ Top. Reserve seats on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Jack Daniels Concert Series.
Turn to the experts at Howald Heating and Carrier for all your plumbing needs. Howald Heating, Air, and Plumbing, where you can trust your flush. To us.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Alex Brown. Construction is underway at Holiday World and Splash and Safari on a 3-story building that will be used to house seasonal employees. The $6.7 million Compass Commons will feature dormitory-style housing with the goal of attracting more employees from across the country as well as international workers.
Holiday World is a very desirable employer for a lot of people who want to get their foot in the door for the theme park industry. And so we've heard from a lot of them, and they keep asking us, can we come out and work? And we say, absolutely, you need to find your own place to live.
Co-owner Leah Cook Blumhart says the building will provide housing for up to 136 employees in its first year when it opens next May. Andretti Global, the parent of Andretti Autosport, has announced plans to relocate its motorsports headquarters to Fishers. The company says it will invest $200 million to build the facility and create up to 500 jobs by the end of 2026. Indiana Landmarks has released its annual list of the 10 most endangered places throughout the state. This year's list includes 7 new landmarks in South Bend, Fountain County, Gary, Evansville, Vincennes, Steinsville, and Marion, in addition to 3 repeats from last year. You can view the full list at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
At Indiana University, your health is our higher purpose. You are the reason we break ground in medicine.
And one thing that really makes Diamonds Direct stand out from any of these other jewelry stores is the education you get. I mean, these aren't clerks behind the counter you're dealing with. These are seasoned pros. I dealt with Chris, sales gal there, for several years with several purchases. She knows everything there is to know about diamonds. And they'll take the time to teach you in a way that's transparent, informative, and useful.
At Diamonds Direct, they'll let you see 10, 15, 20 diamonds in your price range side by side. They give you options. You already know they've got the biggest selection and the lowest prices, but the amazing staff, they want to make sure you get the biggest bang for your buck, and they give you options. This is what separates Diamonds Direct from literally any other diamond store. The customer service. Nobody does it better. The greatest deals, the best warranties anywhere in America. It's a no-brainer. DiamondsDirect.com or stop by that beautiful showroom at Keystone at the Crossing and tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Gotta love it. College football kicking off this weekend. Nebraska at Northwestern this Saturday. Looking ahead to next week, you got Penn State at Purdue. That's a Thursday night game, September 1st at 8 o'clock. You can start betting on all these games now. And if you're a new customer, you got to get in on this action. This is easy money right here. New customers could get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week one. Just place a $5 bet, and you could get $150 in free bets, win or lose. Not only can you bet on the game, you can bet on the futures. Go for it all with a national championship future pick. Tons of betting options and prop bets with college football. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. Download that FanDuel app, sign up, use my promo code WIBC. Place a $5 bet and get a $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off that college football season. That's WIBC. 21 plus and present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WIN.
The Great Resignation is a new and demanding challenge for employers. Beyond recruiting and retaining talented employees, you must understand their changing needs for personalized, non-traditional employee benefits. If you approach and deliver your benefit program as you did a decade ago, McGowan Brabender can help. We are reimagining the employee benefit journey to meet this challenge. It's time to thrive, not just survive. Contact McGowan Brabender to learn more.
Feeling offbeat? Franciscan Health's nationally recognized heart team can help keep the beat of your heart steady. If you've been diagnosed with atrial fibrillation or an irregular heartbeat, Franciscan's personalized approach to heart care can help you reduce your risk of stroke, heart failure, and other complications from AFib. So tune in, because the tempo of your heart matters. Find your heart's rhythm again by scheduling an appointment at franciscanhealth.org/restore the rhythm. That's franciscanhealth.org/restore the rhythm.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers. Securely destroy electronic data. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Governor Eric Holcomb is focusing on Indiana's economy, but while in Taiwan. Police in Marion County have sent a message to County Prosecutor Ryan Mears, and Chris Davis reports on a fake cash scam in Fort Wayne. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 6 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Another legal maneuver. I'm Lisa Lacera. Former President Trump has asked a federal court to temporarily block the FBI from reviewing the materials it seized from his Florida home until what's known as a special master can be appointed to oversee the review.
That is a neutral third party. It could be a lawyer that's not connected to the case or a retired judge that gives a third party neutral view into the case as far as evidence, documents, just to make sure things are done from 30,000 feet in the air.
Fox's David Spunt. Dr. Anthony Fauci says he's stepping away from his government roles at the end of the year.
He became the face of the federal response to the COVID pandemic, attracting praise and criticism alike. Now Dr. Anthony Fauci says he will step down as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases in December. Fauci will also depart as President Biden's chief medical advisor. Fauci says he is not retiring, but after more than 50 years in government, wants to pursue the next chapter of his career. In a statement, President Biden thanked Fauci, saying his many contributions to public health saved lives in the U.S. and around the world. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Authorities in Northern California say they think they have found the body of Kylie Rodney, the teenager who went missing after a party 2 weeks ago in a vehicle submerged in about 14 feet of water in the Prosser Reservoir.
My understanding is the vehicle was upside down. That also makes it more difficult. And if silt and things come up above, that can also make things difficult.
Captain Sam Brown with the Nevada County Sheriff's Office. Divers with the volunteer search group Adventures with Purpose say they discovered the teen's 2013 Honda CRV using sonar technology. Authorities in Oklahoma City say one sheriff's deputy was killed, another wounded, while serving eviction papers at a home on the southwest side of the city. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What he's doing overseas. 81 and partly cloudy downtown, a low of 62 tonight. Radar clear for now. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 6:02. Indiana's Governor Eric Holcomb has become the first U.S. governor to visit Taiwan since before COVID. John Herrick reports.
In Taiwan this morning, he said,
the Indiana-Taiwan agreement is focused on building upon those economic ties and critical industries, semiconductors, ag, bioscience, advanced manufacturing, and technology.
Holcomb is also visiting South Korea this week. He says the purpose of this trip is to strengthen Indiana's economic, academic, and cultural connections with both Taiwan and South Korea. He'll be back to Indiana on Saturday. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Too many criminals get out on bail too easy and stay out, says Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder, announcing a no-confidence vote on prosecutor Ryan Mears.
Also outlining our questions to the prosecutor, all of which have gone unanswered. Not even a turn down, just unanswered.
Snyder says he's frustrated that Mears will not account for several crooks having been turned loose and then having killed or hurt people, including police. A man from Cambridge City was killed Sunday morning in a car crash. Police say 70-year-old Bill Irvin Jr. was driving his semi on I-70 near Shadeland Avenue when he drove off the road, hit a concrete barrier, and rolled into a ditch. Emergency responders say Irvin was pronounced dead at the scene. Beware if you're selling a game console or shoes on Facebook Marketplace. Chris Davis reports on a scam that could leave you with no money at all. At least, no real money.
That's because the scammers are paying with phony hundreds. They fold it so you won't see the front, which clearly says play money or copy money. This is happening mostly in Fort Wayne, but they're targeting out-of-town people, so you should be aware. These are the screen names they're using: YK Slow As, Long Live My Brother, and Steph Curry. No real basketball players involved, but they are gaming you. They take your stuff, take it right to the pawn shop, and you're left with nothing. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather at 6:04.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
With traffic on the 5s at 6:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, we hit going into the north split, westbound 70 on the ramp to northbound 65. An awful place to do this, and right now the left lane of the ramp is blocked, and we're stopped back to Rural Street, Keystone Avenue. Inbound 65 vehicles still tapped out on the ramp to Meridian Penn. Ramp is open. It is going to be tight. Traffic is stop and go from West